My name is Trace Saranthus. Welcome back. And for what it is, you know, I must have something in my hair. This guy coming around here. They really got to keep security on a tight leash around here. Never know. Anyway, welcome back, and welcome back, you two.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
I mean,
you guys rehearsed that, or?
No, it's all right. It's just the biggest upset of this tournament so far has been you, Trace. So
thanks, man.
All right.
Really appreciate your blunt honesty. And Elf 1 and Elf 2, you guys actually don't have names anymore. So,
cool, man.
I'm Elf 1, so I'll take that.
Well, we do have a game on our hands, and it's going to be CompLexity and a unlikely challenger in Existence Galaxy. They've already made a little bit of a statement here so far, and we can take a look at Group A. And for all that it is worth, it's been a little bit of a turbulent time here for at least some of the teams that we no longer have with us. Yes,
I don't think any of us expected LDLC to bow out the way they bowed out. One thing is losing to a well-playing Heroic. That can happen to the best of the teams, but losing 2-0 to Existence was a big surprise to many. I think LDLC, you know, they struggled obviously in that game. Existence played one hell of a game, probably the best game they've ever played on LAN together, but that's no excuse for LDLC. They should be able to beat them. They should have been the team currently facing CompLexity, but they're not. The better team won that game, so that leaves us with CompLexity and Existence, and I think that's going to be much closer than you initially would expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I really think, is it the season of upsets, or is it kind of like the end of the season and now everyone's just upset and they don't really know how to cope with it, so everyone's just losing collectively? Is that?
It could be. I mean, you're losing your mind. People losing games here and there. It's all fine,
He's been like that for a long time, though. So.
Yeah, but it's like the end of the year. It's been a long year for Trace as well. So
a long year for everyone.
For you, man.
I think everyone just get a good clap, a good round of applause in for themselves. Pause. A good round of applause, as well as a round of applause for Hacks GG, who are bringing you the 3 reasons, as well as Blair. Kick it, Blair.
3 reasons why this is going to be fun. This is going to be one hell of a game, and I'll tell you why. Reason number 1 is going to be the fact that Existence have tasted blood. That might sound a little brutal, but here's the thing. They got the win. They got that best 3 win, 2-0, and you saw that interview with Barbar. He was feeling very confident. It's like, you know what, we're ready for this. We've finally proven that we're not onliners. We can win something. So that's a pretty interesting factor going into this matchup. Reason number 2 would be the fact that all of the pressures are on CompLexity right now. They need this win. They need this very crucial win. They don't want to get knocked out here. They want to make it to the semifinals because they have a lot to prove as well. In the meantime, if you look at Existence Galaxy, they have no pressure on them. They have nothing to lose right now. They can just go in, you know, just go all on in and just have some fun in the server. Reason number 3 is going to be Plopsky and Nock. Like, these 2 guys impressed me in that win they had earlier today. 2-0 it was, and these guys really stood out. Nock's their best player, but Plopsky, 16 years old. Barbar said that he is better than Broland, but then JW just tweeted out that Broland's better than the entire team put together. So spicy stuff, and I'm looking to see Plopsky prove some people wrong here.
Maybe take a Plopsky on him.
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
It just set itself up so easily, just like those Hacks 3 reasons why. They set themselves up every time, just in time, and it is time, in fact, for the vetoes. We do have another best of 3 in an elimination game, just like the rest of them have been all day long, and these maps are going to be crucial when it comes down to staying alive for both CompLexity and Existence Galaxy. That's a crazy name to just kind of throw out there.
Existence Galaxy, yeah.
We got to have the galaxies on top of it, right? I mean, Existence has been around for a long time, but
and a galaxy.
Anyway, these map vetoes aren't going to be around for that much longer, so perhaps we talk about that, guys.
What's going to be interesting to see is if Galaxy is willing to play Mirage against them again. If I were them, I would throw in a curveball here. I would probably go pick my Mirage myself. I know they lost in the first game against CompLexity, but there's the thing when you're a pro player, and I think everyone can attest to that. When you played a team once in a tournament and you lost, there's all sorts of stuff you can do to fix that result. Like, you can fix your mistakes, you can think about what did we do wrong, what did we do right, what should we be expecting, and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you're the winning team, you sort of like rest on that. You won, and you think to yourself, all right, if we're going to play Mirage again, we don't need to work on it, we don't need to fix any mistakes, and rightfully so, I guess you won, but that's, you know, just a curse that sometimes happens. You don't want to play the same map twice against a team you're already beaten, especially not if the teams are sort of similar. So I'm interested to see if they're willing to do that, and if they know that, and it comes with experience. Had it been my position, I would have done it.
This is a little surprising for me personally, because I thought Existence would go for the Inferno ban, because here's the thing with CompLexity, they don't really have a very deep map pool. They are very good at Inferno, they're pretty darn good at Mirage and Cache as well. Every other map is kind of a big question mark for this team. So the fact that we've taken out Dust 2 is a little curious for me. The Overpass ban coming out from CompLexity, no surprises right there. And of course with the picks coming in right here, it will be Nuke. I'm not surprised with Existence going with Nuke.
Makes sense.
And now that's the thing, right? Inferno, I would highly favor CompLexity to win this no matter what. They are really, really solid in that map. Now, if Existence had taken out Inferno, CompLexity would have to pick either Mirage or Cash, which would have made things a little bit more interesting. And of course, it is going to be Mirage a final map. This is interesting.
I think it's a great map pool. I think both teams got what they wanted. Obviously, you know, picking Mirage would be a ballsy move, and it would be a gamble, and especially when you have the ability to pick Nuke. It makes sense.
Why not? Yeah.
Exactly. When it makes sense, and why not? But the fact that they're willing to go in and play Mirage again as a third map decider, which is maybe is going to be, you know, a 3-map series. It's going to be a tense one. So it sort of like suggests that they're confident in their own map pool and they're confident in their own abilities. And it also, you know, reflects in the way that Baba is talking about his own team right now. The fact that he actually goes out publicly and saying that Plopsky, or whatever he's called, is potentially as good, if not better, than Brolan, who just was at IEM Chicago and doing one of his best events with Fnatic. I think it's ballsy, I think it's cool, and I want to see that translated into the server.
Yeah, I think you do have an absolute point there, but I guess we could also point a little bit about CompLexity. We're going to be taking a look at them, but you talk about that Inferno pick, we talk about them being sound, but the reality is CompLexity's not sound overall right now. So there is a real chance here for an L to be had.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to come down to, again, this player we see on the screen, it is going to be Ye. He has had a very quiet tournament. He's been having a very quiet number of tournaments in the recent past, right? We've had Shazam actually putting in a lot of the work. We've had, that's been comparatively quiet as well, but Shazam and Stan, man, like he's been really...
Stan
the man. He's been putting in a lot of work as well, and that's the thing with this team. Like, if you look, I mean, they're facing off against Existence Galaxy on Inferno, a map that they're really, really good on. Then you have Nuke, where they're pretty comfortable as well. They've taken certain teams who are of a higher caliber to, you know, to the wire on that particular map as well. So if you just look at it at a glance, they should take the series 2-0. But like I said, there's so many problems within this team right now, and like we said about Optic, these guys are trying to find, you know, that magic thing. We've also heard rumors about, hey, there might be change taking place and whatnot. So a lot of question marks on this team, but Ye needs to wake up. He needs to be the X factor here for this team.
And it's because he was the catalyst during the major run, right?
Yes,
he was
absolutely.
the best performing player during that time, and that was something that elevated this team into another level, a level we haven't seen ever since. So you're right on, you know, CompLexity is a team that is currently backs against the wall. It is a team that desperately needs a good showing, and I would even, you know, say here that if they win this game, they obviously move into the semifinal, and I believe they're facing Bravado in a potential semifinal. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for them to actually get a deep run into this tournament. Yeah. They can't let this one slip. CompLexity has to win this one, especially considering how well they did in the major. It would be a huge slap in their face if they cannot win against a team like Existence Galaxy and then miss out on an opportunity to go up against Bravado, who so far obviously have been looking good and been looking sound at the tournament, but you cannot say that CompLexity wouldn't be favored in that matchup at all.
Absolutely. I mean, like, for a team like CompLexity getting into this tournament, you have LDLC, you have Optic, you have Heroic, you have all these teams, and now an opportunity, like you just mentioned, to face Existence and beat Bravado in 2 best-of-3 series to make it all the way to the finals. That's like opportunity just knocking on the door saying, please, take me right now, take me, and they need to take her.
Oh. Yeah, take me.
Yeah.
On a date.
Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking about, Trace?
We'll take it over to the Existence Galaxy side, where we can start to talk about a team that is fighting for their lifeline here, but have already exceeded probably their own expectations, much more the fans and the audience that they definitely came out in numbers for. I mean, for one, I think that the scarves that they're wearing out there have given special abilities to this team right off the bat. And that's just the best analysis I'm going to be giving.
Yeah, and that's why you're over on that side of the table, and we are over here, Trace.
Yeah.
I think what gives this team ability is the fact that they don't give a damn. These guys are pretty talented. There's no doubt about that. When you look at the players, it's not names that pops up in your eyes and you think instantly, all right, this player is a god, or this guy is going to be the next big thing in Sweden. But they are all fundamentally sound and all fundamentally strong when it comes to the aiming phase of the game. Add in, you have Baba, a guy who's been around this scene forever. He's never really broken through to the tier 1 scene. He's never really been part of the top scene. I never got to play him when I was a professional, and that was because he was not good enough to play at that level. Nowadays, though, he found his sort of like place within the scene, right? He's a teacher, he's a translator. He's trying to teach these kids, to play Counter-Strike in a sound and fundamental way. And so far, so good. What we've seen from this team is definitely better than I would have expected going into this tournament. And that's also why it gives me hope that this team could potentially give us a good fight against CompLexity, because they're right now not at their best. While I think these guys are pumped, you know, they're playing at home turf as well. They're playing in Sweden. We have the crowd out there for the first time showing up big numbers as well. Yep. So this is going to be a fun one. And I think they're pumped. And as you said, the atmosphere in the team must be pretty good. When you have nothing to lose and you're really just there to have fun, that's when you play your best Counter-Strike.
Absolutely. Just looking at the body language as well, for me, it's night and day from like the early game today and yesterday, where they were kind of quiet, looking very serious. And the second the camera panned to these guys, they're just smiling around, like having fun, just, you know, high-fiving each other. I think that's great. And personally for me, like, Swedish CS, it's been a while since I see them really, come up. And yeah, we talk about the Fnatic and NIPs and all that, but if you look at Denmark, we have so many of these teams coming out from the woodwork, like Braxos, for example, right? So it would be personally very great to see these guys really step up. And this guy in particular, Nock and Ye. I picked these two guys for one very simple reason altogether. Would be Ye, like we said, he needs to really pull up his pants and put in the work, because he is the missing factor here for Complexity. And Nock, on the other hand, he really showed what he can do.
41.7 ADR from Jay so far in the tournament. That is just below his own level and below average even at this tournament. That's just simply not good enough. So yeah, I expect a guy like Jay to step up a little bit more here. We've seen what he's capable of, and I'm sure he's motivated himself to turn that ship around. And if he does that, it could potentially be a close game.
Yep, from the Nock, dat Ye. See what it is, a little bit different. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, kind of like the curve that you can put on the votes right there. Get them in, get them tied up, and get them locked down, because you need to use !COL or !X6 to vote in the chat. The green light has been given. The mods in the chat are AFK. They are asleep. They are not there. They're in the kitchen. They are negligent on their jobs, and they want you to spam the chat with who you think is going to be winning this game. And I think we'll be taking a look at that just before we go live. And, well, I guess we can continue down the path of where we think it's going to end up by perhaps showing some odds and then maybe making some sense of the numbers on our end. And I guess it does kind of make sense, right? I mean, maybe not as lopsided as we would have thought, but still, for what it's worth, this is an Elimination Day game, and these teams are on the cusp of being eliminated.
We don't have enough information on the existing teams to actually believe that they can win a best-of-3 series against Complexity. There's nothing that tells us that they should be able to do that, especially not with the maps that we've been gifted in the video process either. So I respect the odds and I understand the odds. That said, though, I think it's going to be much, much closer. I think the existing teams are really fired up, and I think they have nothing to lose and everything to play for.
Well, you guys can play as well. We're going to let you play the game of predictions. It's about that time, and we're going to start with Jacob.
Yeah, see, his name is Blair.
Yeah, I said Jacob. I was looking at you. I was just pointing at him. Big difference.
All right, so who's going to go with this?
Jacob, go.
All cool. Right. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be two close maps, but it's going to be Complexity taking this one 2-0. I believe that they are strong enough to overcome this battle. I believe the fact that they know that they have Bravado in the semifinal, which is also a matchup they should be winning, can be a negative factor even. That can put some extra pressure on them. But if there's a time to show that they're the better team and they have learned anything from that major, it would be now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Pimp as well. It will be Complexity, but yeah, I really want to see an upset because it's been a tournament of upsets. I really want the Existence to pull off something. I think they might take Nuke. They could potentially take Nuke, but overall, I think, like you said, it's going to be, it could be 2-1 or 2-0. I really don't care about them. I think Complexity is going to take it, but it'll be a much more closer affair than anyone expected.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that there's a man sitting in COL.prive right now, cracking his knuckles and getting ready to lay down the law. He's got the red tie on, and I'm going to have to put one as well as I go ahead and pull for Complexity in this bout. There's simply just enough experience, even if they're going through a woeful time, just enough experience and just enough, I guess, coming together overall that they shouldn't have any problem here. They shouldn't. But if it's anything like the rest of my predictions, I'll be absolutely wrong. In fact, one thing I'm not wrong about is bringing in the commentators, because it's just about time to kick off Nuke. And to do that, we've changed it up a little bit. We've got Scrawny and Launders, and Scrawny's brought his pet today to work.
Yeah, winter's coming. Launder, you're not Launder. This is Launders. You're Stunna. Yeah, we're ready for this one. We're ready for this one, and I'm excited because we have an absolute upset, right? I thought yesterday, after we get that 2-0 with Bravado, that you know, we're done. Everything's cooked. And then Existence out of nowhere. I mean, Def tweeted out yesterday accidentally, like, "Oh, we face LDLC tomorrow," with not realizing that the Swedes still had something to say about it.
It hurts more because you knew he wasn't trying to offend anyone, right?
Yeah. He wasn't.
He thought it was matter of fact.
Well, here we have it. You know what, Stunna? He abandoned ship before he could bring up the Twitch chat predictions, so let's see what you guys have to say.
Oh my god.
We're edging out towards the favor of Existence. I think there's credibility there in terms of momentum, right? You got a 2-0 win over LDLC. That is hot.
Yeah.
And it includes a 16-4 victory on Nuke, where we begin this series, Launders.
That's a good point. I really think Existence are going to take Nuke.
I was going to say, like, if I had to side with the analysts here in predicting Complexity to win, I think Inferno's in their back pocket. It was the key to their successful run at the Major, and they're a great Mirage team, too. They've tried Nuke. We've seen them versus teams like Vitality, versus teams like just yesterday, and now, all of a sudden, it's versus Existence. You'd think that, again, they feel comfortable, but they haven't been successful, so why would we give them the edge there?
I agree. I think it can go to third. It can go to a third map, and then in that case, I would assume a Complexity might take it. I don't think it's going to be like yesterday with Barado, where they do manage the upset and they do it in such convincing fashion. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Existence when we go to Mirage, but we start on Nuke, and here's a chance for Existence to start 1-0 in the series.
Yeah.
Look really good. CompLexity fell flat on Nuke yesterday. They didn't look good at all. They were honestly a shell of themselves. Nuke was also a pick they used as a major to help them get through to the playoff stage, but they, since then, have looked like a completely different team.
This is a big, fast push. Straight into the ramp room. Nox going to knock down 2. A couple of headshots swiftly stopping CompLexity in their tracks. They will still attempt to get down into B, and that's where they meet Plopsky. He's going to be playing back behind these boxes. Nails another bomb. It's going to be planting as Android tries to buy time, and that's exactly what he's done. He's enabled the plant. That extra little bit of cash has been cultivated for CompLexity, but that's all they'll find. And Launders, it was an 11-4 CT side that Existence established versus LDLC this morning. Let's see if they can improve on that.
Yeah, it sucks that LDLC are the measure for how good a team should be at this tournament, because they're a team that we should have seen in the finals.
They were the highest rated team coming in.
They were the highest rated team coming in, and on their way out, I think they had their heads low because they just did not live up to expectations whatsoever. And for Existence, they just don't want to use that as like confirmation bias that they're so amazing, because LDLC didn't show that they were as good as they should be throughout the event as well. It's been an event of upsets, so I think that they can take that result, they can be happy about it, but now they've got to move on to a team that plays new quite differently, and they started off strong with a good pistol, where they retake on lower. CompLexity at least got the bomb down, so I think Existence are going to be pretty well aware that they're not going to attempt to buy up on this round. But that being said, they did empty a lot of their pockets buying rifles. They only got 1 SMG. This is something that we saw Bravado do that I didn't appreciate.
Well, we saw Plopsky hide back into the B site last round. This time, the moment the flash comes near, he's out of there. And Knock, who certainly cut down their numbers early in the previous, he's just going to sit back patiently, feels no pressure from outdoors. He can just hone in on ramp for as long as he wants, and, well, that'll be at least another couple of seconds here. 50 left for CompLexity to play.
Yeah, Nox at his post, and they really want him to make a mistake, but he has no reason to move. And as for Plopsky, he's in a more precarious spot in lower, where he doesn't have a way to fall back, but behind the silo itself, in an unspammable position with 2 sides to work with, he can definitely do work. So we'll see if he does get a number of M4 kills. I assume they're going to be offered up quite easily to him, and there's 2 to start it off. Barbar here from the peripherals to the periphery to join in with the SMG kills. And they want to try to funnel as many of these as possible into the money-making weapon. So no bomb goes down, 15 seconds up, and they are at risk of dying after time at this point.
Yeah, and that's a very scary situation. I mean, we're early on. You cannot afford to die when that clock comes to its expiration date. So here we go. It's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath towards the end of the round, but Existence in the end will grab it. Got quite the little fan base out there.
Not bad. Yeah, I think there's, there is a tone of cheering for the underdog at DreamHack Opens.
And they're Swedish. So.
And they're Swedish, so that helps out a little bit, for sure. Yeah,
last DreamHack winter, we only had 1 Swedish player, and it was Madi. So now, to have a full Swedish team, it's cool to see the local support.
Right, yeah, and Madi has always been just, I mean, he needs the Swedish support, because he's always been on a team with non-Swedes, yeah.
Well, here we go, Mohan. We're back into the gun round.
All right, let's do it. Rifle rounds.
This is when the real game starts.
Simple upstairs setup. 3 players from the tees outside. Barbar has to take first contact, but he's also got to be careful. Doesn't want to give up his position, taking a shot and not getting a kill. So the smoke goes down in front of Mini. This means they're going to be expectant of a wrap, but he is still in a prime position to deny anybody coming through Big Garage. Instead, he's got to be worried, does anybody go through Secret? Because they don't have a Heaven overlook to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ooh, right into Barbar. Set up nicely there by Nock, drawing the attention away, pulling the player forward, and CompLexity find themselves at a double-man disadvantage. Yay. Hopeful that he will find some sort of entry as Shazam works the opposite side of the map. They need to even out these numbers without taking losses of their own, and preferably while holding onto this utility. But it's the bodies and the grenades that hit the floor towards A. Android picked apart. Yay caught on the cross, but nice reaction. Does drop Plopsky. Not going to find him. Too bad for EA, but the bomb is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and Nock knows that he's dropped down lower, so it's on Shazam to try to catch someone off guard, and he is fully well aware of the threat that may have pushed into lobby. That being said, his information being known is a big plus for Existence Galaxy, and Nock is going to have a friend to help him out from Turnpike. That's Barbar, but Shazam immediately eliminates him and puts him in another pretty good 1v1, and it's actually come down to just Ye and Zinkin.
But 6 seconds, so this one's done for.
Yikes.
Try as you might in a 2 versus 4. It's nice to see them actually win these duels, not giving up too much HP. I mean, they managed to make it costly.
Yeah, I will say that in all of those engagements, it looked like Existence Galaxy caught them off guard in all of their 1v1s. They had the advantage. It's just that Shazam was also kind of aware of some of the peaks that might have come and hit his first bullet in the headshot. And then, Ye pitched in, so it came close at the end, but the first 2 kills outside, there was no chance. Def got traded at Squeaky. There was nobody there to come and help him out. And it really felt like Existence knew what CompLexity were going to go for.
Ye attempts to get curious towards door, and all these grenades have turned him back already. He knows there's presence there, though, and he's that only AK, so expect anything for CompLexity to come off his back. All right. Like a slippery fish, Def has crept his way downstairs, and I don't think anybody's seen this.
Yeah, he's made a move, and this is very tricky for the CTs. If they don't know he's here, it might actually work to their benefit because they won't panic, rotate to lower. But the thing is, for Def, it's actually quite hard to make presence without juggling the CTs in a way that he won't be able to anticipate. So now Plopsy's going to have some of the other Ts come towards ramp. Simple spray down for him, not taking too much damage, makes it 3, reserves enough ammo to be able to take a few bullets and hide, and now Def can finally flank.
Stanislaw covered the sound of the door for Def by just peppering the upstairs with his P250, so it is both Def and the in-game leader to pick up a kill apiece. And with that, the rifles that follow suit. And because Def has already cleared the depths of the B site, they just run instantly towards it. And Barbar floats nearby.
This is the problem, that they don't have any utility left to plant, so they've got to cover the window. They can plant simply for control and then have Stanislaw cover that doorway. They can also try to open it and kill him, but they don't know that he's there for sure.
Door swung wide and no angle found.
So that's a nice plan.
A little bit of cash made. It's a silver lining already, and still there's more work to do.
Def is in no man's land. He's exposing himself to every single choke point at the moment. They need to communicate about what's being covered so that he's not flipping between 3 angles.
Stan could have heard those footsteps, and as the door swings, Stan can't trade.
Oh.
Frag grenade goes downwards. That could blow up 1, and it most certainly will. Now the second's his 2, but they all swarm simultaneously, so it is a no-go for CompLexity. 4th for Existence on the board, but quite the cost that comes with it.
That was a really good try. I mean, that post plant was largely unwinnable because of their lack of utility. The one grenade that they had was put to great use in the 1v3 by Stanislaw, but this was an eco round, and that's why they didn't have anything to help him put the bomb down. So Plopsky made it seem like this round was over, and that was the same feeling we got on the previous round. So now CompLexity move into this, knowing that they've done tons of economic damage. If we look at the CT's economy, they've got nothing left over, and if they lose this round, they'll definitely be saving. So CompLexity still have hope here in this game, even though they're starting out 0-4. And it's going to be kicked off with just a slow outside one more time. They have some information on how CompLexity played spots, or how Existence played the outside area. And now they want to do kind of create a scouting report for their teammates to make sure that nobody gets caught off guard like they did in that previous rifle round, and then maybe move forward. And we'll find out if they want to try to go lower or if they're going to use this default to figure out where the kills go and then follow from there.
Ooh, a little curiosity for Existence. Going to make the proactive play straight into Android. And as he takes 1 kill, Plopsky immediately falls back as Batten extends into the man advantage. But the outside control still in question. CompLexity have footing in the garage.
No, definitely a power position for Def. Had a bit of a flub on the spray in the last round, and you think about that and you're like, all right, well, got to walk that one off, forget about it, move on to this round. And hopefully he's in the right mindset to do that. Because he can create an escort situation for his teammates where he can clear stuff out and his teammates can not have to be too concerned with certain angles. Shazam leading the charge with an AWP and the bomb, and it looks like they want to do something upstairs.
25 seconds left. They need this pick. Batten just flirting with the side of the silo. And all the while, he has his teammate Zinkin still behind this vent. So Shazam's going to have a very tough job to try and crack it open. And oh my! Zinkin just pops them both. Stan comes in from above, but 8 seconds means he cannot retrieve the bomb.
Oh.
However, if he dies after time, then it is a world of hurt. So luckily, with 3 seconds left, he'll go down then instead.
Yeah, at least there's that. So if they had a couple more seconds, Stan could have been the first one to peek, and they wouldn't have had to peek inside of Mini, run into this M4 sitting at opposite vents, and Stan could have certainly got that kill. You know he has the trigger discipline to peek from heaven, see the first guy, not shoot too quickly, find out where the other one is, give his teammates that information, or just get the kills himself, and that would have allowed the bomb to go down. But it comes down to how much time they take to make something happen in the round, right? That's how patient you can be, and they didn't give themselves much leeway. So this is the complexity we saw yesterday, where they were falling flat because it seemed like they weren't using their utility usage as optimally as possible. It was quite quiet from them on their T rounds. They were playing it slowly, but not slowly in a good way. They're being meticulous, slowly in a way that they seemed almost indecisive. They're also having trouble getting opening kills, which is going to be a daunting stat line for them moving forward. If they can't change that from what we've seen so far. And now, at least they get the opening kill. So we're at a minute 10, and what's important to remember is how much time you have left on the clock, and then you try to figure out, with the amount of map control we have left over, what are our options. For complexity, they can still go lower, they can still wrap heaven. Clock's ticking down, and it's Existence who are feeling the need to try to seek out another kill, and that's normal. But there's a certain point where complexity cannot wait for them to make that mistake anymore, and they have to move into a site.
Whoa. Little 7.62 just careens past the face of Nock. He'll take a shot in the shoulder, but still stand tall, and Plopsky looks to come standing at back on ramp. Players come flying past him. And it's 2 straight away for complexity. So finally we see this team in an advantage of some sort. And they're going to scramble downwards, so it seems, with bomb.
They just saw Batten go down lower. Worried about the vent, but the wrong one, actually.
And he just saw Shazam. Shazam's the bomb carrier right now, and there's 10 seconds left, so he's going to get drawn towards the site.
He has to go plant, yeah, so...
He knows there's one in vent as well.
Oh my God.
And he picks up the other player. I mean, Batten is seriously contending in a 1v4. He knows these others should be towards this site. He charges through the Molotov. Another duel's been won.
No way.
And he is seriously staring this clutch in the face right now. Sick movement.
He has so much time. He can make this play, but that window, is it popped open?
It's already broken. Batten down the hatches. He's got himself the clutch.
What a play. That was some fantastic stuff by Batten. Absolutely no opportunity to win that round in the 1v4. But with time on his side, once again, he abuses every situation, catches them off guard in the midst of the confusion, and then that was an amazing 1v1 alone, you know? Let alone these first 3 frags.
Charging through the fire. I mean, this player here gets caught out into the open, right? That's the
look at that.
The hecticness that's created by that last-minute scramble. And he never saw it coming.
He never saw it coming. Shazam didn't even factor that in as an option. He figured it was going to be some kind of tap the bomb, spam control, and then Shazam would have 1 or 2 shots, and then it would be a simple round to close out. Yeah, it was a cool 1v4 attempt. Yeah, you got 3 kills, but that's it. I've got the AWP bomb down right in front of me. I have this locked up. And that wasn't the case. So it's actually a tack pause called by Existence. Maybe just a celebratory tack pause.
Yeah, just stewing your 6-0 lead.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and that's 6-0. That was the round they were supposed to win. Would have been difficult enough that they would have only won it with 1 player, but now they don't even get that victory. So I like this. The initial, actually, bit of confusion with the smoke and Molotov combo. They wasted one of those grenades, obviously. They could have just saved one, made sure that there was no rushes, and then held on. If I'm complexity, I count that grenade. That's something in the round where that's a very important piece of utility, something you don't have 2 of. That you could say, all right, well, now Squeaky's a little bit weaker because we know that we've heard a smoke and Molotov go down here, and one of those was wasted.
You get complexity back into that crawling pace. Using the wall of smokes to get into garage yet once more. Def has to be cautious. His head has been spotted, and down he's dropped by Nock. It's going to leave Stan alone outdoors as the rest of his team waits to see if he can find anything on his lonesome.
Barbar looking to give some haircuts. From the top ropes. Tough angle to deal with. Android is onto him.
Oh, and Android just saved Ye. That's a crucial kill. Plopsky already resides down into the B site, and that outer threat is now quelled. So the entirety of CompLexity coming in from ramp room, they're going to challenge control, and that's an angle that Plopsky is going to be pushed from both sides. Still manages to find himself one, and his teammates are here to pick up those pieces. Bombs confirmed at the feet of Android, and as he rounds the corner, there's 2 heads there. A 7th for the Swedes.
When we see a situation like that where there's that many CTs and lower, you think, well, why are CompLexity running headfirst into like this many players? But if from the CT's perspective, they've got to take a big risk sending that many players down low because the only rotation is back up through the vent, which is obviously treacherous, and then the long rotation back through outside with a number of angles to clear. So if a team's going to commit lower that hard and they're there on time, that just means they had a really good read on the round and they were willing to take a giant risk. So Existence basically are able to make them look dumb in a situation where CompLexity were doing a pretty normal play that could have worked. So now it's 7-0 for Existence on CompLexity's... No, this is Existence's map pick. I don't want to call it too soon. But it's still a map that they should be comfortable on.
Oh, Barbar. There's a player above.
Oh my god, he's not even looking up. Doesn't want to...
Barbar's prime.
This is as awkward as it gets.
There we have it. Headshot immediately, and he knows what's going on here. That's the rest of CompLexity down the secret stairs. There's not actually the rotation in position already, so Existence will have to scramble somewhat. But all the while, Barbar just kept them boxed in. Shazam doubles back for the headshot.
And that's the rotate I was talking about last round. Coming up the vent is just so much more difficult than going down. Knowing you've got to deal with the site angles, the rafter angles, and it's going to be a crunch on the lower site from the T's. Plopsky's in a prime spot. Nock is here to support, and he's got the AWP. He's going to have full attention on him.
Oh, bomb thrown out to the open, so it confirms that if CompLexity are going to do anything, it's here on the B site. Well, Nock just holds his own.
I appreciate it. The splits look okay. You know, the spacing's pretty good. They're getting downstairs, which is sometimes the hardest part, right? And then they know how to play their post plants. We saw that nice like 2v3 attempt with, or 2v4 attempt, I think it was, with Stanislaw and Def. So they kind of have protocols for how they want to approach their post plant situations lower. It's just that they're not trading out favorably because Existence's rotates are so good. They're always right there. They're always around the corner. They're not letting the bomb go down for free. And I honestly doubt we'll see it go down on the 5v5. That's the spam that was so dangerous yesterday that we saw Bravado use.
Yeah, against CompLexity.
Exactly.
So they've watched the VODs and picked up a trick.
Right.
Nearly nets them something even further, but already a 5v3, and Stanislaw creeps towards the heaven. At this point, obviously, with a double disadvantage, Plopsky's going to get aggressive, wants to find something. He finds a bit more than he had hoped for. Ye with his head on a swivel, but here comes Batten, same position, and he's cut off that second player, so Shazam's cleared. There's another one just close, and the dink almost drops Android.
Wow, they trade out favorably sitting in lobby the whole time. So, okay, they go for the aggressive crunch on lobby. It's a normal play to make. It's kind of claustrophobic inside of lobby for the T's, and sometimes the CTs get ramp room control, and then they're able to open squeaky door like simultaneously. Then you have somebody push into hut. Like those angles they can be CT favored, so it's understandable if they go for something like that. I like the Hail Mary, but they don't have enough money to buy now, and it's actually CompLexity to have a significant advantage in this round as we don't even see a force up from Existence Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what's wild. 8 rounds consecutive.
Right.
1 loss, and we find them in a save.
It's been a pretty exciting game. Like, there's been so many close rounds.
Yep. Which, I mean, that's going to be just bolstering CompLexity's confidence in the sense that they haven't been out of this entirely. The score says otherwise, but the situation unfolds to their favor here in the 10th.
And so Existence know exactly what they're asking for at the moment. Only having USPs means they're forfeiting the ability to have a high chance to win the round, to get any or a lot of damage in, to knock some players down. They were basically assuming that, yeah, CompLexity will most likely be able to have 5 rebuys after this, 4 or 5 rebuys, and they're willing to take that risk because they had just enough money that it made sense to save 1 instead of 2. So it's not a full-on reset. We have the op on Nock, which is a point of comfort for him, and his teammates are all in pretty good spots in terms of utility. Jam's going to go for a squeaky play. Smoke comes down right in his face, and it's Stanislaw to take some damage outside. Another well-placed HE grenade right at the feet of Ye to do almost half of his health. And now Existence don't know about this, but a lot of these players are within one shot of death from any of the weapons on the server. It's about outside again. This is fine to do. You know, there's so much to clear out here. There's so many options. We haven't seen the threat towards Heaven, though. That's not something that they've been focusing on. Instead, it's been this obsession with lower.
Right.
And to some extent, I can see why they want to keep doing it. They're getting close. There's just some trades. They're getting caught off guard in new moments every time, but they can definitely see a path to victory if they get downstairs. But Existence are getting better and better at these holds.
Some good timing on the Molotov. Pushes Ye forward and sections off the other two. But as the flames fade, oh, so does Knock. Wide peek from Def, wins the duel. That's going to leave the majority of Existence still within the A site. Plopsky all alone on B. And Barber's found a kill. That's pretty crucial. 30 seconds up. And that's when the hecticness begins to sink in again. So Batten's going to try to strike from behind, and there's no cover. There's no cover for the man up on the rafters, nor the bomb plant. So 20 seconds, he needs to get this in, but Existence don't seem to want to peek. Yeah. So the plant is theirs. CompLexity nab it.
This is kind of interesting. They don't have an ability with the utility to get closer. They're going to have to take all these dry peeks, and they eat a flash in response.
Yeah,
Are they going to hightail it? Yeah, they're just going to get out of here. I like this. You know, they don't have a lot of money. They want to take these two guns into the next round. They can try again. They can try a lobby crunch, for example, where you kind of keep the palms up front, have your pistols run in first, and then from behind have the rifles come out the trade and try to get some rifles from the other team. And that's something they could do. But more than anything else, it's going to be a save next round. And so they've now got to think about economic damage because CompLexity have found a way back into this map.
And I think it comes from the fact that they just kept Existence on the cusp of being broke over and over.
Right.
No matter how many rounds in a row, all it has taken was that one opportunity versus Pistols for CompLexity to capitalize.
It's a pretty insane peak from Def. It felt like I'm sick and tired right now.
Yeah.
I've got to, you know, we can see how hard teams will work to push an Opper back off that angle. Def skipped steps 1, 2, and 3 and just went for the crouch slide out and hit the headshot right away. Could have been a different story if he didn't, but it seemed like he was really practiced on that angle. Looked well trained.
It's one of those positions you want to consistently win if you are an outer player, and he has been escorting Stanislaw out there time and time again. But Ye's patience towards spawn as he throws away the bomb. It's not heard by Existence. They've stacked up towards ramp. They've pushed forward, curiously looking for some kind of contact, and as Ye takes it, he decides not to stick around.
Yeah, this is his job. So on the anti-eco, this is the safest way to do it, is have someone spotting lobby just so you can get an audible on how the CTs are playing it. They go for that lobby crunch, which I thought would be very effective, and I guess CompLexity just fully read that. Like, here, this is a good option for them. Let's assume they're going to do it, and then in response, trade for map control, and here we finally have Stanislaw challenging Heaven like he was doing so well yesterday.
So well, and so constantly.
Right. Is relentless.
That's crucial, picking up the opening kill on the A site. There's another one in the corner, but Barbar also cleared. Good job by Android, keeping his head on a swivel and taking down a third. Still just one M4 up, and it resides at the depths of Heaven. Not even going to find a kill this time. This is huge for CompLexity. We talked about that momentum that they've been establishing as of late, and with a 4th round in a row, they keep all 5 alive.
Super clean. And there was no investment, so I don't know how much money is going to be left over for Existence, but I really would like to see if CompLexity go back to this 3-person outside default and then work towards Secret one more time, and how Existence are going to read into that. I think the setup out the gate for Existence would make sense to have someone playing in Secret one more time, just because that's just a safe way to do it, even if you don't know they're going to be outside. And then from there, try to rotate, but to kick things off, you know CompLexity like to do what they have been doing. That's just a feature of their brand of Counter-Strike, that they kind of go back to what works over and over again. And yeah, he definitely saw a hat.
Both players seen, frag grenade. Well, it's not going to prevent too much because Stan still catches his kill, but the Opper, that's the bigger problem. And that's such a good way to counter that consistent corner wraparound that CompLexity have been playing. You know, you can go for the wall of smokes when you want to get down into the secret stairs, but there's no real set piece to push into the hell position. So So the Opper floats around it, still looking for more kills, and well, whoa, that's a dangerous hop across, but...
And Nox, I feel like falling asleep at the wheel a little bit. He's a quick Opper, but he's not taking a couple of these shots, just had a sitter in def, didn't pull the trigger fast enough, and then on that outside play, did not go for the flick. Maybe didn't want to compromise his spot, can understand if that's the case, and once again, they know that when CompLexity go outside, they have a couple people go ramp. It's happened all too often. Nox, combat opping, gets the first kill.
Oh, wow. Must have been a little inaccuracy on that one.
I thought that was going to be a sequence.
Would have been huge. I mean, they very much expected him to still be further back, but do they expect Plopsky to be in the corner? Seems not. Ye drops bomb at his feet, and then Batten comes in from behind while Stanislav can do something. It's the time that's the biggest issue. He doesn't realize that the bomb is beneath him, so now he's scrambling, and there's just no chance.
He's got to stay alive, though. Yeah, he's going to run right into the hands of Zinkin, but he does it before time. So at the very least, he doesn't die after time, which was, I think, his primary concern in those final few moments. A good round from Existence Galaxy. They dealt with the threat that posed the problem to them in the previous rifle rounds. CompLexity now have to innovate a bit, try to throw some kind of curveball at them, because it seems like these outside plays where they go secret and then they have to go ramp is becoming a bit predictable. And again, you can go to B every single time if you want. There's just a number of ways to do it. You've got to be able to throw fakes. You've got to be able to create some kind of distraction, feign an upstairs play, even if it doesn't come with a ton of utility, something like that. But you've got to work a little bit harder.
That wall of smoke's going to throw some questions in the air. No sight lines on it. But there is a heavy defense towards this ramp room, so if they're expecting this secret ramp split, then they could very well section off that bomb carrier, currently sitting on the dirt over towards the lobby.
Yeah, I think the biggest power, the most power that Existence have gotten out of these CT rounds is the amount of map control they give up and then still feel so comfortable.
Ooh, careful knock, floating around these corners. And Stan's been this consistent nuisance here. Knock very cautious and expecting it to come from beneath, but Stan takes the high road.
Yeah.
And now they can pinch perfectly into the A site if they clear out Zinkin. The flames at his feet kind of put him in an awkward spot, so he jumps out of the hut right into the lying weight of Shazam. And Ye finds another.
Yeah, so the playbook goes deeper, right? They actually bully upstairs this time. Stan is a pivotal part of them getting heaven control, which is an integral part of being able to get upstairs. You know, just being in heaven means that nobody who is playing Hell or Turnpike or Ramp can come and support upstairs. You also have a good chance to flank people who might be up there. The crunch is perfect. 5 players go down for Existence, and CompLexity keep 3 up, so it's good for their economy as well. And again, it feels like they're right back into things. So once again, I would like to follow up with this round, see what happens next. We saw the anti-eco on the previous, where Ye held down lobby for a few seconds, waited for an audio cue on footsteps, and then called it to his teammates, fell out of lobby, and allowed them to take outside. Will we see something similar this round?
Close proximity from Barbar's CZ. Just waiting within this smoke, and if they're not careful, he could strike at an opportune moment, possibly even grabbing a couple of kills. The Opera and Shazam's much more fixated on the further distance, and oh yeah, it's def to deny it. Thank goodness he's there. And as always, here comes Stanislav, creeping towards Hell, and once more going up and above.
Yeah, it's a big move. And I guess they just wanted to hide this because they were doing it so often, so they saved it kind of for the second part of the half.
Right.
And you've got to have that long con game plan when you know you're going to end up playing the full 15 rounds. You just don't want to blow it too early, show all of what you intend to do in the first few rounds, and then not have anything left over. And it seems like they're getting what they want so far out of the half. Only pistols on the board for Existence, but you can't write them out just yet. That could be a kill that makes this, that seals this round out. But where are our remaining 3 players? I actually got 2 coming out of secret right now.
Yeah, right into the lying weight of Ye. Oh, he moves his crosshair, but I think he just spotted a kneecap.
There was a little bit of a leg. He saw some leg.
Whoa. And there he's found it. So he's just going to duck back into the depths of Garage, consistently burn time off of this already ticking bomb, and that's going to allow Shazam to try and follow suit. But this one is done for, folks. It looks like the 6th round for CompLexity as they really pieced something together towards the end. 6 of the last 7 rounds.
You had a voice crack.
They actually managed to pick up. So good on CompLexity. I mean, that it comes down to composure, right? We talked about how they had those openings at the beginning of the half consistently.
Yeah.
They kept existence against the ropes. And while the rounds stacked up for the CTs, the opportunity was always there. And the moment they got one hand on it, they clamped down with both.
Yeah, and this was the same scoreline we saw versus with Bravado and CompLexity, where Bravado got 6 rounds, but it looked like a good half overall. There were definitely some rounds in there that were total composure breakers that were like, okay, the 1v4 that we saw, who was that? Not Plofsky, it was Batten, yeah. So, a round like that could just rock you, and for them to still land on their feet, it's a good sign for them. They've gone up, they've played matches for much higher stakes.
Yeah,
of course. Very recently. So I'm sure that they're not too shaken in that circumstance. They've had to make comebacks happen. They know what it takes. They might have had a rough day yesterday, but it's a new day here on day 2.
It's another thing as well. I mean, this is a team whose core is they've gone through some very real struggles at times back when they're losing their ECS spot. I remember at the major, Android had a very good interview with HLTV where he said, like, losing had become just what he expected.
So
they go to an event
headline.
and just that was the nature of their gameplay. So it's not as though you're going to get rocked all the time by these situations, but it's a rock over towards this ramp room that locks down the hold. Solid 3-piece here from CompLexity. They welcome existence into their basket and then crumple it all up. Just Barbar left up. He's not quite sure where to go.
He is without direction. And into the USP of Yay, a solid pistol round overall for CompLexity, as almost every single person gets a kill. I think one person got 2. But that was nice, and suddenly a lead has been diminished. We are looking at a very high likelihood of a tied scoreline, something I didn't think I'd see in this match. It really felt like existence were going to walk away with it. But in this brand new half of CompLexity have taken some momentum with them and have forced existence onto the save. Yeah, they've got a couple more rounds, but on this one it's only pistols. It is most important now that CompLexity are able to make some money and try to do the most with their economy, and that's something that we didn't talk about from the second round of the first half, where Existence got 4 rifles. They only had 1 UMP. A stark contrast here, 3 UMPs. It's a much better chance, especially if you think that they're going to buy a lot of Glocks, to just make a ton of money early on. So if you do have those close rounds later on in the half, well, you have the rollover economy that we have in CS, and it all comes from those first few rounds.
Right, and unlike Existence, who the moment they lost a round had to save, you wouldn't be in that situation. So you want that core of cash quick. Right now, though, we just have Existence still creeping and crawling all around. Shazam finally opening up shop, and Def has spotted another body with damage down range. I mean, you're so limited when it comes to these Glock 18s that you shouldn't be able to do much, except for maybe team kill.
That's
or
one way to
Plofsky.
deny money.
Yeah. But now he's got an ump, a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe he can further the damages, make it up to his friend and fallen comrade.
Oh, that's a pretty good angle he held, but the recoil is not too nice to him.
Now Nox then spiraling back towards ramp, and by the time he gets there, they are ready for him. So, CompLexity, good conversion.
Not bad. Is that Snappy sitting behind CompLexity? That's an admin just looked like
You just
Snappy.
saw the hat, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been just the Snappy hat. Yeah, so, okay, that's good. It was like 3 UMP kills, and for contrast, it's like a rifle kills 300, UMP kills 600. So it's just a ton of money. They've got some left over. They've got all the utility they want. It's a buy-up for Existence Galaxy. We're quick into it here in the second half. The spray is kind of between 2 players, and a couple of good grenades outside mean early damage is dealt, making that kill easy for Shazam. Zinkit, can he make the trade happen, though?
Oh,
he does.
Man. Just consistently chasing. Shazam was so worried there'd be other players at the base of the silo, not realizing that the other 2 members had already moved past him, but here comes Stan within the A site, and it's Yay down to the clutch, Batten back up in it. He's got the bomb at his feet, but now things go quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's walking, and Yay's back is turned. If he rounds this corner and clears it...
Oh, he knows.
Oh, both damaging, and it's Batten with 6 HP! Existence to double digits.
Yeah, crowd goes crazy. The 1v1, very important round. That was so close. Like, I'm actually shocked. I mean, where did you think that round was going to go, like halfway through it with the damage outside?
When I saw Shazam getting chased down, I figured he'd be mauled. And then when I saw Stan getting caught out in the open of the A site, I thought to myself, he's done for. But a crucial 2K for Stanislaw, I think, keeps Complexity in it.
Right, and then, yeah, now we're just off to the races. Just another super tight half to kick things off. I couldn't be more exciting. Now, we have a pause called for Existence. They've been doing a good job spacing these pauses out, but then also using them to talk about things, maybe just to chill out for a second. That's another option that's actually very important. We are humans. We're not automatons. We're emotional creatures first.
Some of us are androids.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Not just a moniker, folks. He is actually made of metal.
Cold, hard steel. What's the play here, Mohan? We've got Shazam with a scout. Stanislaw on the MP9, so clearly some economic woes, but there's a double Mac 10 here for Existence.
Hell yeah. At what point is it a smack 10 when you have all 5?
It's a smack 10 when you get some gnarly frags with it.
Okay, let's see if it happens.
We've got one in the A site. Barbar just trying to move forward. Android's going to be peeked by a many player, but he just mows them down, commits to the spray, and picks up a couple as Shazam finds another. There's Zinkin off the SMG to create a bit of space, and that'll enable the bomb plant, you'd think. Plopsky, he just wins another duel. And while Ye has the element of surprise from Hut, he's only working with this Deagle, so he needs to nail the headshot. But it's Shazam to call attention upwards. Plopsky comes off his plant, damaging Shazam, trying to dance between both players, but he finds neither in the end. It is the defuse for Ye. Great flank and a great peppering from Shazam there, playing up above.
That was absolutely, yeah, that was pivotal. That's exactly what I was going to harp on. They did a good job of splitting the attention of the two players on the site, abusing both the crossfire and the verticality of Heaven at the same time, making that as awkward as possible. We can see Plopsky trying to use cover to hide from Ye and then fight Shazam, but then also not being able to find Ye as he wasn't too overzealous with his peak, and that made it so that Complexity were able to lock that in, no problem. Minimal losses, and they shut down the upstairs push. So that's a solid round. That's one back for Complexity. It's pistols once again for Existence Galaxy. They've got one flash on Zinkin, but what's the play? Do they have something in mind? Is it just going to be another kind of slow, kind of like tenacious default where they work everything and make things as difficult as possible for Complexity, or are they just going to hold on for a second and then burst? It seems like the latter is going to be the case at ramp, and they've actually still held on to the flash.
Whoa, Ye can't get back around the corner fast enough, nearly. Oh. But he does pick up 3 kills.
Come on.
Great work. Bombs his. And now the rest of the team can just come rotating down to suffocate the remaining members of Existence Galaxy. Knock, that would have been a dirty Deagle, but instead he'll pick up the bomb, prioritize the plant, make that money, stack up the moolah, cultivate cash, but it doesn't happen. Zinkin's actually just left alone, and now he's spotted, shot at, pressured, and peaked. But the XM1014 goes down, and Complexity go up with another round. It's 10 apiece now.
That was kind of cool, like right at the end, he opens the door, just so it makes it seem like for the guy who's flanking that he's going to turn his attention back to downstairs and then gets that 1 kill, and that's something. And here's Ye. I mean, after taking that much damage, he was lucky to get the Molotov off, but then to get the 3 kills as well. I mean, he went above and beyond, so solid from him, and we're tied up once again, 10-10. Another rifle round here between Complexity and Existence on map number 1. Plopsky takes a ton of early damage, and Shazam is once again at his red container outside.
Finds the best of Barbar. Even gets then substantial damage versus Knock and Zinkin. So, I mean, we saw Plopsky tagged straight out the gate. A continuous pressure from Stanislaw shut down.
Oh my God. Just walk outside and see the whole boy band waiting for you.
This is aggressive. Even Android wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it's at this point, you only get more and more aggressive. You're losing members now. You know damage is dealt. You're hungry for these frags. You want to end it early.
They take this lobby control.
Oh boy.
Neither of them opts to go upwards.
This is interesting. It looks like Existence, because they've got a minute up, because they've already got 2 kills, they're like, hey, let's just wait an extra 20 seconds. That's my rule personally. 20 seconds per player that makes a mistake. Just hold back as long as we don't have to execute right away. And since lobby is cleared out, they're not going to expect that people were just sitting outside of it. But I expected a re-aggression from Existence. Instead, they're going to avoid the threat entirely, walk across outside with no nades, hope that it's not being watched from Heaven, potentially get a lurk kill here, and it'll be Ye to take first contact for CompLexity.
Oh, he's standing out in the open.
Did he spot anyone?
He saw someone on the corner of Garage, but that's going to open up the route downwards. And CompLexity haven't made a rotation to these positions yet.
Yeah.
So there will be a bit of a scramble, whether that comes from vent or ramp or maybe even secret stairs.
Oh, they have no idea what's happening right now. Maybe they don't feel comfortable going down the ramp. They're just crossing their fingers and hoping it's not going to be a lower play. But here's where their hearts drop and they realize that it is.
Did they call this off?
It's tough. It's a very tough retake. It's really messed up because they can faintly remember how much damage was dealt. But now they don't know. They don't have an inventory of exactly who is super hurt and like what spots they might be in. And yeah, they do have utility. They have really good utility actually for the retake, and that probably was part of the conversation before they saved. But because they're so far from actually getting set up to throw those nades, I think that amount of time just made it so unappealing.
This is a heartbreaking situation for CompLexity here, because I feel like if they make contact versus the majority of these players, they're going to win the gun duel. I mean, the initial damage was stacked up so early on, and then it was just because, you know, from that minute mark where Existence pumped the brakes, there's no further sight line for CompLexity. They saw nothing until that bomb is planted.
Yeah, and that is the problem with Nuke when the CTs go down, and you got to hand it to Existence for finding that exploitable part of the map where it wasn't being watched because CompLexity were low on numbers. It was nice that they avoided the presence from lobby. They waited out another push if it was going to come, and then they decided to go outside because they figured CompLexity were going to have their attentions turned towards upstairs and maybe the lobby area. But I guess because CompLexity didn't actually clear out lobby entirely or push through to outside, they second-guessed themselves. But I mean, the thing is, CompLexity did have info there. They know it couldn't have been an execute through Hut or Squeaky. And maybe if they had left somebody there to give them information and there was 10 seconds left, the rotation could have come out a little bit sooner. But again, the problem was they only had 3 people to do that. Very thin on numbers.
Whoa.
It's a scary way to get down secret. Def actually has to drop his smoke to get out of there, fearing taking any nade damage from over top of red.
Speaking of nade damage, Stan gets chipped to 72.
Yeah, he's been eating them all game. So, attention's turned to outside. Existence will make their way towards what they saw was their first perceivable threat in Def, but Def has turned tail and run. So they clear this out. He's delaying for time. He's skipping a couple of positions here because he knows that they're probably going to take some precautions to clear him out. And he still burns the same amount of time because he initially showed presence. Preemptively throws the nade at Molotov after maybe some information was traded.
Yeah, this is going to enable the mini peek. Android gets punished for it. Stanislaw lines up too, but he's going to get pinched in from behind. Def? Is that off the ladder?
That was nuts. No, that was a... You know what? I don't know.
Gunner, cue it up.
Cue it up, Gunner.
We've got Nock working on 40 HP, and he's managed another kill, but Ye strikes in an opportune moment. Swings out from heaven and catches him before he finds cover. Another round goes the way of CompLexity.
This is intense. This is really intense. It's just tied the entire way through. Yeah.
And this goes back to what we were saying yesterday, right? Your bullets have to go somewhere.
They've got to go somewhere. They don't disappear, so you might have severe inaccuracy, but if he's on your screen, there's a chance.
So 10 rounds apiece, 11 rounds apiece. And it's either going to be this relatively broken buy from Existence that nets them that 12th, or it's CompLexity back in the driver's seat for at least another round. Utility expended early on, yet again erecting this wall of smokes. Building it tall and wide. We saw them pressure this before. Remember, Def had that more patient position. This time he is up close and in their faces. He could line up so many bodies. But a preemptive peek from Zinkin is going to actually cost him his life. So just one and done. But CompLexity already have footing here towards this B site. They have a man in control as Barbar gets closer. Ye needs to win the duel, but he loses out to the M4. Batten's Tech 9, a threat towards Squeaky Door, and Android will clear him. Shazam's got the chance to cut this all off, but he too cleared after just a single kill. That's not where CompLexity want to be.
And again, trades are good. Rotations are fast, even on this side for CompLexity. So they've made it into lower. Android has info on at least one player, knows the bomb has probably gone down in a pretty innocuous spot, and he's just got to try to scout out any information he can, but look at Nock. He's already at ramp, and if nobody's going to come ramp, he's in the most powerful spot. Completely unclearable, considering the amount of time remaining. Could be a really good nade, yeah.
Great nade. Now, he could just smoke off bomb if it wasn't for Nock's immediate peek. There was still a play to be made there for Android, and you're getting into that nitty-gritty where I think it's worth the risk. However, good response there from Existence.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if he felt like he couldn't go for it, he probably would have just called it, but you can see why he went for it. He had information, he had a good idea of what was going on, but it was a really well played 2v1 from Existence. So pretty solid stuff. It's totally unclear to me who's going to win this game at this point, Connor.
No, it's too back and forth in nature.
It's back and forth, and you know, it's back and forth numerically. It's back and forth tactically. The trades, you know, these micro situations, these trades are so back and forth. It's so difficult to tell exactly, you know, what is going to take it over the line. These guys are so evenly matched at the moment, which is probably a compliment to Existence.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, we're talking about a team that places top 8 at a major.
Yeah.
Not even all too long ago. Rapid pace to this one, though. Plopsky is just going to burst out through the cover of the smoke, get control of vents, and he's the only terrorist that actually, you know, pushes himself so aggressively. He's the only one that nearly throws away his life. And the question will be, what do they gain off of that? Yeah, they didn't lose him.
Yeah, they didn't lose him. They've got vents control. They know no one can rotate lower that way. They know that they're going to be worried about his presence. And now if they go downstairs, it's going to be a lot easier for Existence. So they've got a lot of outs with him in this very powerful spot. It's just, you know, they've got termites in the house, but there's no exterminator in sight.
Just gnawing through the wood, slowly but surely, shaking the infrastructure of CompLexity to the core. We know they have the framework. Right now we're even in firepower. Here comes Shazam, peek out through smoke. Could just rail a headshot. Existence really not taking too many risks in this round. I think they know what kind of primed opportunity they have on their plate.
Absolutely. They've seen an eco lost in the past as Zinkin cleans out some of the mess upstairs, but look at this.
Yep, there it is. Kills come into the CT's favor, but Android still just left up alone. Batten's an easy frag, but the fact that there's 3 of them, and now he's tagged up Nock. That's 2 Ts susceptible to a single shot. Zinkin even gonna get damaged, but he doesn't expect that player to be in no man's land. He's pinned in behind the silos, had little info, just that deagle, and he just can't make it work. So that back and forth nature, it seems to be extending to the favor now of the Swedes. 13-11, and still CompLexity will not find themselves on a bye.
Right, yeah. Sigh of relief for Existence as they survive that eco round, tenuous one. CompLexity only have, you know, they've got pistols again. They're much weaker this time, just the starting guys. This Shazam, the only man who is stuck with a P2K. He has held this P2K down since the beginning of CSGO. He's never, I don't think ever, he might have switched. Maybe one. I think he's actually got a really nice USP ace on YouTube, but for the most part, he is stuck pretty strong with the P2K. A fan of the extra bullet in the mag.
Android silently snuck his way behind them. Oh, wow. Hello, okay. Goodbye. To Mac 10 for his effort. He's going to try to eject over towards decontamination as Batten spots many bodies over on ramp. So they know there's one behind and many else here. Trying to probably figure out where Android's got off to, but all the while, Android's left on his own. Such a choke point to come out from those ramp entrances without utility, without having a rifle to try and duel versus Nock. You know you're done for.
Yeah, this becomes pick the spot that the Ts are going to exit from and then try your best to hold your ground. And here they have got some headshot positions to work with, a bait setup from the CTs, and they lose Stanislav for just a moment, but they don't lose any players, and that's what's most important. Android is going to keep it Mag 10, bring it into this next round, but look at this Existence, 14-11, knocking on the door victory on the first map. Thought it was going to slip from their hands. They've really just brought it all the way back. CompLexity even look competitive in the second half, and still Existence show composure. So good stuff. They could luck out 2 rounds here and win this map. You know, it could all be over. CompLexity have to play flawlessly. They've got to play pristine Counter-Strike from here on out. No more mistakes whatsoever. They can't afford another eco. And so this rifle round will be the most important match in round of the game so far.
It's a lot hinging on this one. We'll see if CompLexity decide to throw something different out. Right now, we have a man trying to get down vent here for Existence, I think. Yeah, it's Plopsky. He's found his position just behind it. Looks to buy his time as the rest of his teams arrives just outside of Mini. They're going to be ready to pinch into this bomb site, and the defense already dropped by 1. There's the wide swing out from Stanislaw, and he too finds nothing for his efforts. It's a 5 versus 3 situation. A very much here in the sights of Existence. And as the bomb's now planted, the flash goes high, blinding Def, as yet another CompLexity member comes up empty-handed. No frags for them. And this is Existence Galaxy soaring towards victory lane.
Yeah, this is, I feel like, you know, everyone's got a split upstairs with a fast outside where you have 2 drop-in mini. But I think that they maybe have watched the Bravado game and saw that that was such an effective strategy versus CompLexity. They go ahead and throw it in there late into the half, the same way that CompLexity used Stanislaw to bully Heaven late into their half. And even though it might have been expected early on, they at this point are so flustered that they potentially didn't see it coming. And now this kind of ace in the hole they've got in the back pocket with the upstairs crush is going to work for them. It's a new problem that CompLexity have to deal with, coupled with the outside executes and defaults that they've seen in the past. And they didn't even get close to winning this round. They had almost no chance at any point there. You're putting on the fur. I'm
putting on the fur. I'm getting ready.
This could be the last round of the match. CompLexity are calling a pause, as they definitely should to talk about that. They've just got too many things to talk about, though, at this point.
Yeah.
I would be stressed out trying to consider what the best option for Existence would be if I'm Stanislaw. You know, honestly, if I'm Existence, I've got rounds to work with. I try that one more time, because they didn't get close. So even if they're expectant of it again, maybe they just fall flat, lose the game straight out. It's also a good strat that can work versus anti-ecos, where you're splitting, you're not leaving everybody in lobby, which means you have other ways to win the round if it is going to be some kind of stack or push. But they've also got to factor in that they don't have the best guns ever. This is basically a force-up, and Existence should be aware of their economic standing.
Def just hoping that the silo player rounds his corner. He's not going to find any targets to take as of yet. But Existence still keeps up this presence outside. It's been such a consistency from them in this wall of smokes.
Yeah.
And it's a key piece of nuke, right? You've got to apply pressure to the outer yard, or else you're just boxed in and choked out. But Shazam will be curious, and if he does peek over the lip of the staircase, he's going to find that there's actually nothing there. Not next to Red Box, not inside of Garage, not even on top of Mini. There is nothing except for an opening pick from Barbar. Android taken down, and well, Ye's on a scout, so it's not the best of guns to be trying to pick up multi-frags, and there's so many members barreling towards him. As they grab a 5 versus 3 with 50 seconds up, they can do as they please. They'll eject into the heavens and hit this A-site by surprise. The Mini player pinned into the cubby. Shazam already cleared from his position, and this is it. Surely, Existence Galaxy have picked up another nuke win. This is going to push us to Inferno. The choice of CompLexity. We know they can play it, Launders, but can this momentum, can these upsets continue? Because it started off on nuke to their favor yet again. 2 chances, folks, for Existence to join Bravado in the playoffs.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm happy for Existence. I'm happy for the crowd. You know, this is really cool that they're playing so well, and it's cool that they have nuke. It's cool that we're seeing nuke so many times being played, and it's being played by not tier 1 teams, right? Which is a big thing. Nuke is known to be extremely difficult, but they're holding it down right now. They're making it look good, and they're beating CompLexity on it, which is a map that they should be comfortable on. Still think their problems will be just as difficult on Inferno, but this is a great sign for Existence.
Right, and I do like that we're getting into this kind of, you know, consistent tier 2 nuke play. I'm all for it, right? I want to see teams develop in a strat heavy and tactical place. So
yeah,
we're going to Inferno, folks, and we will see you there for map 2 of CompLexity versus Existence.
bensound.com. bensound.com.
Existence Galaxy continuing their tear here through DreamHack Winter 2018, taking a map off of CompLexity, a map that they saw them win earlier today, but also a map we know CompLexity are no slouches on long.
Not at all, and you know what? I thought that Existence would win Nuke,
yeah,
but now I feel like they're going to win Inferno, Connor.
You think?
I don't know. I mean, I think there is hope, I feel like. They just, Inferno's simple enough,
yeah.
They're playing well enough, CompLexity look a little shaky. I think there's a chance.
I think there's a chance just because of that shakiness, right? The slump exists. There's no denying it. But I think that, you know, there's a new depth to this slump if CompLexity failed to win on a map like Inferno. Because when we saw them reach their highest peaks, it was very much on this map, right? They progressed through the earlier stages of the major in that miraculous run.
For sure.
And now, you know, that's kind of been their bread and butter. Like the BO3 is where CompLexity tend to always get at least one map because they get to end up here.
Yeah.
So yes, Existence looked promising. Yes, the individual level was there.
Yeah.
And they seem very competent on Nuke, which is nice to see. They're challenging. again, what was a top 8 major contender. So will they win Inferno? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be all too shocked if we see them actually test Complexity and really take this the distance.
Yeah, you know, it's just the problem of having your best map be Inferno. That I don't know if Existence have an Inferno to begin with, so you know, maybe it's something they like to avoid. But you see, even among top teams, like Mousesports is one of the most played maps, and I think they have a losing percentage on it in the last 3 months. So it's just like Inferno's a map where people really feel comfortable on, sometimes a bit too comfortable, and it's more so, and less so a worry about the map itself, more so a worry about complexity at the moment. The complexion of complexity, the depth of complexity. It feels like they're missing something at the moment, and I honestly think it's just a little bit of fire. Like, where's Rambo? You know, where's Rambo patting him on the shoulder, slapping him on the head?
We need Jason Lake.
Jason Lake, yeah.
Kick some chairs.
Yeah, sub him out, throw some chairs.
Get him in here.
Come on, let's get excited. I feel like that's a big thing.
I mean, that excitement, that fire, that explosiveness, I think that's something that's actually not in Complexity's nuke play. We talked about how slow they go, the executes, they're late, they're calculated, but maybe at times over-calculated.
Sure, okay.
You know, let's get wild, let's get loose, let's throw some Hail Marys
Bring
here on the A
Bears, folks.
Yeah, smoke's up and over. We've got the USP tapping away from Knock.
Ooh,
hello.
Okay.
He's dropped himself the bomb. That makes things come to a grueling halt and a grueling pistol round for Complexity. He's nabbed himself a second. Def over towards the B site, tries to find some sort of footing. This is pretty much a ruse. He's pulling a rotate, trying to find a way to slip in and get that bomb, because it now falls on Stanislaw. Oh my God.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not getting a 2K.
Existence Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy.
This is good.
Guardians of the A site. So smooth, buttery smooth here on Arch. And I mean, at that point, Complexity are just coming in, limping, shambling forward.
Anti-eco out the gate. A strong CT pistol round for Existence Galaxy. Initial nade going down, just going through the usual motions, making sure that nobody can bust up mid too quickly, or that if they do, they come out hurt. For Complexity, they've only got Glocks, full intention to try to buy next round, and they don't want to take grenades out of that round by upgrading too many pistols this time around. But there's always an argument to try to get a P250 because a Glock is that bad at times. But Barbar will be happy to see him. Knock as well. It looked so good last round. It's going to be a pillar of their CT side if he can lock down Arch. And is this what a run boost setup with a Glock? Definitely like to see it. Interesting.
Chuck him over. Launch him. Gotta be careful. Def biting off more than he could chew. Then that play towards Arch does work out, but it's the pinch with Banana that doesn't seem to be netting them all the success they would hope for, and Zinkin already giving hot chase to the players towards spawn. So Android alone. He's got the bomb, but not much more than that. It's a nice, smooth conversion. Yo, Paul is here.
You can't see it, but he is here. Maybe he'll go on the stage or something like that.
I'd hope so.
Paula might make an appearance.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Sorry, I looked up.
Yeah.
I'm expecting one of the usuals.
He wasn't supposed to be here. So
he's not.
Yeah.
What a treat.
What a treat.
All right, back to business.
Let's get focused.
I'm sorry, you just disrupted
It's just Paula, okay? It's just a giant YouTuber.
For the first time, Paula, Blair, and Launders are all at the same event.
Right, the 3 top Counter-Strike Brown talent.
What about, yeah.
And Valence has been on the desk too, but he's not top 3 yet.
Who's he surpassed first? You?
Who's he surpassed? Paula.
Yeah, who's on the topping block?
Paula's like third by a long shot. So he's top 3, but it's only because there's 3.
Mohan, there's no kills yet in this gun round. None at all. Shazam's lucky to be alive, and the utility's dwindling.
Existence are very far back on CT side. They have no idea what's going on. There's no rotation they can make without gambling. Yeah, a couple of flashes come out of A, but that doesn't actually tell them anything. This could still be a B play for all they know. So they're going to take a bit of a risk, and this is something teams will do. But as we can see, CompLexity have made presence, and it might have been deliberate. They're going to throw a smoke as they fade back into a banana play, and there's one player who is holding the baton on the rotate, and he's 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. Barbar here is trying to support A, and all the while there'll be a split.
Ooh, nice hot flash. That sets up Zinkin nicely, and already we have Barbar in position to cut off the second head of the snake. It was meant to be the banana split, but they've spilled their beans all over the bomb site. Shazam denied anything further. 5 guys alive in the gun round of all places.
I want to say they overplayed it. They had a really good round there. They got everything they wanted out of it, but instead of... What's funny is that they strengthened Arch, right? They strengthened Arch in response to the nades that CompLexity threw, and then CompLexity gave them 2 kills. If CompLexity had just like spent a little bit of presence at A, realized Existence were not even spotting anything, could have gone back to a B play, it would be very unlikely that Existence have 3 in the site on that amount of information, and then they could have just taken B. But I think in their eyes, that was kind of a gamble. Maybe they were just reading too heavily into it. There's a number of things that could have come into play. Maybe they got some false information. I don't know, but I personally think that either site would have worked. The split was probably the worst of the 3 options.
Yeah, I would mirror that sentiment.
But now that they know, I guess that's and something it does matter how the smokes were thrown. So if there was, I think the CompLexity threw their own wrap smoke. So I think initially they wanted to try to fake A with 2 players and lock out somebody on a CT rotate. So maybe if the flash didn't come out, they would have just tried to wrap the entire way around and use that as a fake. But still, 5 straight up probably would have been a lot safer, considering how passively Existence were playing.
Just floating back and forth as Knock, toppling these Ts as they try to creep inwards, and Batten's ready for another one. Just the head emerges, and now it confirms that the bomb's here too. So Zinkin comes from Graveyard, and it is yet another clean sweep. This is a scary situation. When you start affording your opponent a 4-0, 5-0 lead, on top of not getting kills now for 2 rounds at least.
That's the big thing.
Oh boy.
Because we've only seen 1 rifle, so you've just got to take that as the only known quantity in terms of strong rounds where you've got everything that you need to make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to win. But then they don't get any of the economic damage in with the pistols, and that's going to count against them in the future. Aggressive play down banana, instant headshot on Stanislaw. Plopsy comes out ahead, only losing a smidgen of HP, but the trade through the smoke by Shazam, the collateral on banana, evens up and brings it back into their favor.
And it looks like they're going to play off it. Charging right away towards the B site. Knock attempts to get in position, and the bomb's still not here, so this does buy additional time for Existence to get ready. A pop flash that goes high, and Knock opts not to charge through it. But now there's smoke in the face of CompLexity, and they have to come to this grinding halt, which is fine. A minute still to play.
Wow, it was kind of a late kind of panic smoke on banana to make up for what happened. Depth stays in a pretty important position, holding on to the map control that they initially wanted to take over and force Existence to seek out some information and then punish them for it. So the patient pays off.
Yeah, they squirm around the corners. They give themselves up one after another. So this is CompLexity at least on the board. Batten with 10,000 fat ones in the bank.
10,000 big boys. They won this round because Shazam was able to trade with a collateral through a smoke with an op.
Yeah, that's not something you're going to be replicating anytime soon.
Stanislaw got smoked on the bottom of banana. Instant 1-tap. It was a spray. The first bullet killed, though. So from my perspective, Existence could run that round one more time, and the majority of situations, that's all they would need. But we don't get to see what happens now. They lucked out a little bit, getting that free 2 piece.
Watch this. Hey, hey.
And they've got to take it and learn. I mean, it's a good lineup. He knows banana, right? He knows exactly, like, roughly where one person might be. So it was good that he attempted it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott. My favorite Michael Scott quote.
You're Canadian. You have to give it to Wayne. The great Wayne. And a waning chance for CompLexity now if they get reset. Dodging those frag grenades, not looking to get caught off by those quick frags as seen by Shazam, who really slammed them down last round. But again, I repeat myself, that's not something you're going to see anytime soon yet again. And if you do, that's CompLexity's lucky day. The CT's more content with sitting back, and I think this goes back to how they were initially playing their setups. Think back to when we had these 3 players on A site floating confidently behind the bomb site. You know, they get crazy with that charge down banana. They still established the 5v4, but they were caught on the retreat. If you never push forward, you don't have to retreat. So they're just content to sit back, relax, and hold CompLexity back at this A site, which they look to sink their teeth into.
Yeah, it did work for them once. Double pit setup, though, could prove to be annoying.
Molotov down. Could prevent one piece of this push. Barbar with a couple kills, and Batten's going to go unchecked.
Ooh.
I mean, he could swing wide of the hay bales and just pummel these 2 players on the push. They may even line up for him. A taste of their own medicine. But Shazam holds it off a little bit longer. And while Def picks up one from above, it is the pit player to seal the deal. There's corpses piled on A site and rounds piling up for Existence Galaxy.
Yeah,
here.
they're making some panic plays, and I could see another team abusing them quite well, but because CompLexity aren't on point at the moment, I can understand why this is not working out so well. Barbar really picks up the slack with that 2-piece and a nice spray transfer. And here it is, Beaten making the important rotation. It looked a bit rushed, where he jumped in the pit after taking some damage, but it actually helped draw attention away from his other teammate who was in pit, and they probably assumed that he was the one person that was meant to be there that couldn't get there in time. So once they got rid of his teammate, or they got rid of him, he could take over and get the 1 kill that he needed to get. So a good setup from Existence. They only had 3 people on the A site, so it was fine for a CompLexity to try to go for a lane split. And maybe they wanted to try to abuse Arch there, but they could have had PTSD from the previous round where they attempted a split into B. CompLexity have this one round. They have decided and kind of have been pushed into a force. And luckily they've got a couple of rifles. It's not the worst buy that you've ever seen, but one of the riflers now is already down to 11 HP.
Def.
It's the life of a B player. The life of a banana player as a T.
The only man who's flexible enough to dodge those grenades is Frybert.
Their voice crack.
It's all day, man. All day. 24 years old, puberty, finally.
So, once again, I guess Existence got punished so hard for trying to seek out banana control that one time. Like, just the rest of the half, they're going to try to avoid it. I don't know. But this time, there's 3 players inside of B. Could be a good read. We see that there was a smoke to try to bait them into making this decision. CompLexity trying to use it somewhat as a double fake, showing a tiny bit of presence toward A after throwing some of their standard smokes at B to try to maybe bait out a Molotov if Existence would oblige. And Existence, they're just going to sit on this. They've got an op. They've got a fast rotate, 2 dedicated site, and an op there on B. It should be a good round.
And a molly down at 25 seconds. So they'll have to extinguish the flames, but can they extinguish the threat? So far, yes. That is 2 free frags for the terrorists, and finally Barbar will respond off the sidearm. Bomb now planted. What's the play, Existence? Do you fancy your chances?
It looks like, wow, you know what? It's 3v4. They know it's probably some sort of force. There's incentive here to try to go for this. They even have some money left over, but it's a bit too late. They just want to try to hold for exits now. But because they had a player at the bottom of Banana, and then they had 2 players close to the retake on CT, if they got 1 more kill, they definitely would have gone for this, and they probably had a good chance of actually locking it down. They even have a Molotov and smoke to smoke 1 player out and burn one out of position or get the kill. So, you know, this round rested on a hair trigger.
Oh no. Android burnt to a crisp. Luckily Shazam at least keeps his op, so that's 2 survivors here for CompLexity.
But these past 2 site holds, they've been shaky. Like, this one just fails straight up, but even on A in that previous round, they got caught out of position a little bit. They aren't trusting each other to watch position, so Existence, Galaxy right there, they had an Opper playing from Emo. We saw him take that first shot and then swing super wide and get killed. That was not his duel to deal with the player in pool. There was 15 seconds left. There was going to be more than 1 player coming his way. All he needed to do was try to take the next shot on the next player who comes out. that player rifles him down because he goes out into the open to try to help his teammate out at Orange's. It's his teammate at Orange's job to get the player on pool. He gets the other player, and even if the Orange's guy dies, he can delay for time from Emo, but instead he throws that out the window. So they've got to be, and maybe that's the inexperience, but they've got to be a little bit more confident about their setups.
Starting to get reminiscent of the T side on Nuke from CompLexity, I think, where they were just kind of at a loss straight out the gates. And then they were figuring things out.
They made it back into the half.
They have that composure. There's 15 rounds and a half, so let the first 5 slip, so what? CompLexity now, they've bottomed out the coffers of existence, and that's one of those things we were really trying to put some importance on because they had loads of cash so quickly established. 50 seconds and the A site near evacuated. It's only Nox op. But he maybe presented targets. You can see CompLexity priming themselves for this arch wraparound, and Barbar comes here to bolster the defense. Oh, but he peeks right into the crosshair of Def, and poor Barbar smoked off. He'll find no assistance here at all. Tries to get the pepper damage down, but it's the bomb, in fact, that's down, planted within the A site.
Look, because they don't have any, they just haven't even attempted to rotate yet. They just are sitting in B. Didn't work on, like if they have banana control, they can go down banana for free, then test the waters, see if Barbar gets a kill. If they get the kill, they can make their way up mid. Maybe bomb goes down when they're at bracket with Barbar in library, then they can attempt a retake. But this is what you get when you don't get any information in the map control phase of the round. So now Existence are starting to slip up a little bit. They at least save 3, so they can just straight up try again. They're not gonna have great guns on everybody, but they'll at least have nade sets on the few that can buy guns. And they have some rounds to lose, to learn with. You know, it's not a terrible spot. It's more so rough for CompLexity. You're probably scratching their heads of the rounds they did lose already. But at least they get this. They keep 4 alive, which is good. Within 2 of tying up, they end that round with a bomb plant. So the stars might be aligning here for another recovery.
This one earlier than the last. Important for CompLexity to shut down that momentum early on. And we're starting to get into the depths of a potential save for Existence. Luckily, by the time their money's gone, that full round loss bonus is going to be piling up.
Oh, they didn't even buy, huh? They just upgraded a little bit.
Oh no, Stan, same corner as last time we saw the banana charge. And they get away without being collateraled this time.
Yeah, 4-4. Do they recover a gun? I think they might have, yeah. So they at least recover the gun that I think was just lost on banana. Got 3 up, Knock. Only man with a pistol. Not a terrible position. I'd be really worried if I was CompLexity to have that have happened. But waiting Existence out is key. Because at some point they get scared. They don't really know how to do utility to try to retake top banana. We haven't seen that yet. We know they don't like taking risks that they don't have to. CompLexity are just going to factor these things in. Now with a full passive setup, it's going to come down to the aim.
That single Molotov on Android's not currently being primed, so it's not as though they're going to burn out the oranges where these 2 CTs do stand. They'll have the smoke to cover off Cross. Batten should be nullified. But he's got the flash to help out his teammates. Plopsky opts not to hold his ground. He falls downwards immediately, and that flash is fantastic. It blinds the first 2 players, and it's a 3K immediately for the defenders of this site. Sure, Shazam's got 2.
Oh, damn.
A dirty deagle opens up the site. He could just prioritize the plant, but it's a fake. He's a phony.
That's tough. You know, smoke starts to dissipate, 2v1. No open plant without smokes down. They just try to push right into him, but... Okay.
Done.
All right. We held our breath.
Yeah, we gave him the benefit of the doubt.
We saw that deagle shot. Solid hold. Barbar, Plopsky, putting it together. Covering each other with the perfect flashbangs, just as he pointed out. Everybody contributing in terms of frags, just going back and forth on the kill feed. Super well done. The setup looked fine, you know, and they even had a fast rotate from CT spawn. Said it was going to come down to aim, they delivered. They actually, and they used minimal utility to maximize their hold as well.
What's nice about that flash is that, you know, it comes at the perfect moment, but it comes once CompLexity have already extended towards the barbecue side. You know, if that pops a little too soon, then it's not going to blind them at all, or they won't be caught in the open.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly, so.
Yeah, small window of time is a good thing to point out.
They nailed it. What do they do off the back of it? We've yet to see them pushed back into the pistols.
I would really love to see Existence try to retake Banana with a flash. They just haven't done it yet. CompLexity are just going to get used to the fact that they're getting so much map control for free. So, my opinion, you either catch one person there, or nobody in this situation and pull off a fast flank, and then have them scared for the rest of the half, you know, to try to leave that much, like to leave top Banana completely unchecked.
I would not want to be these pit players. You have zero support towards Arch, unless Nock can cut one down, but he's so completely countered by a smoke. But they don't throw one. It's an easy pickup versus Def. Batten now going to try to give cover, but he's caught out in the open, and Zinkin only clears one as the man falls down. He too dealt with as Stanislaw just creeps into the corner. This front runner for CompLexity. And if he peeks out library door, he's finding 2 frags for the taking, unless they run away faster than he decides to go wide. Barbar firing off, pulls out the peak. And it's a man advantage established for Existence Galaxy.
He doesn't even know that it came from library. He's assuming that Stanislaw had left here. And Nock, you know, just has him cut off anyways, but is not in particular trying to zone him out of the angle, just keeping himself safe, making sure nobody can push through Arch to him. And, oh, whoa, he doesn't get a kill, and he might get traded out. Another player much closer to him, can't hit the wide flick, legs one, and then he completes the frag. He's got another one in library, but that peek won't occur. Is the op in a crouch peek into him scope? It does, yeah, he's got 2. That's not bad.
That's good work by Nock. I'm thinking once that leg shot connects, he's done for.
Yeah.
But a swift re-peek, and he takes it. Nice job by Stanislaw here, serving as an anchor inside library.
Yeah, he was so patient. I did think that the CTs were maybe going to get away, even if he played it a little bit too cautiously, but he played it perfectly and didn't have to make an extra footstep. Got a kill, stayed alive, didn't even give his position away. And yeah, so now Existence are going to call the pause. And once again, I want to see them be a little bit proactive anywhere on the map. You know, even if it's out the gate or if it's later in the round with a retake. I think you totally catch CompLexity off guard. But CompLexity are doing everything right. You know, they're getting map control for free, so they're not wasting utility or leaving a player waiting for a push. If the push is not going to come, don't waste the manpower, right? Have them come with you to A. It's up to the other team to make you make that play.
And last round, I think, was one of the first where we see Existence actually throw the top banana smoke from inside B site. They didn't use the flashbang to follow suit and reestablish control, but at least they have that utility in their back pocket. So we'll see if they opt to get a little more aggressive with it next time, or just never give it up in general. I can't remember the last time we'd have Nox op here in position, ready for the initial peek, but he's going to miss the shot because a blinding flashbang pushes him away, and then Plopsky comes out from the corner. Nice control here from Existence to get a 5v3. And it's going to keep going, so it seems. Except for Ye. He's answered back with a double frag of his own, and the bomb plant comes off his teammate.
It was a small fake, but with those 2 players getting killed, it leaves just 2 in the 2v3. A hard site to retake for sure, but Def is making sure not to rest on his laurels and tries to push up for a frag. You can't blame him for trying.
Ye's going to take a closer position too. Dangerous spot to find yourself in. This is committed. You need to have that element of surprise and then the rapid reaction to clear out all 3 of these CTs, but he's got the first 2 and the third. Oh, Ye from the pit just mows them all down.
He's like, yeah, I used to do that. Oh my God.
Man, oh man. Barbar's reaction is perfect. What a shot from Ye.
That's
he sees just the clip of the leg.
That's ridiculous. And you have to hold it down. I mean, you've just got to believe in that moment, and he does pull it off.
Whew. And it pops them. Existence into pistols for the first time on Inferno.
Yeah, could have been a whole different game. You know, 7-4 with a CompLexity on the save. This is the exact same business that we saw. Actually, it was yesterday. It was Bravado who did that with a 1v3, I think, versus CompLexity, and then that forced them into a double save. Pretty similar fashion as well. A 1v4. It was a 1v4. Remember that on Nuke on lower?
Sorry, did I just blink? That round's done.
Yeah, just a clean anti-eco.
Okay.
Fast.
But yes, it was on Nuke lower floor.
Right.
You are correct, Mohan.
So that's good. We haven't seen Ye in a bit.
Yeah, and you know what? In the first
he had
match,
like a 40, 50, 55 ADR,
he was coming into this
land.
series with mid-40s ADR.
So yeah, you know, that's a failing grade, right? You've got to be better than that.
And even on Nuke at one point, when the rest of his team were in the teens, he only had 5 frags. But credit to him, he caught up to them.
Right.
You know, he had that momentous second half. He got back into the action, and that's what you like to see. You know, some players, if they have a slow start, they're out of the map. But obviously, you don't want things
those players
to crumble
on your team.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have those players on your team.
We just want the creme de la creme. This is an awkward spot for the counter terrorist to be in. No man's land for 2. Thinking, oh man, he's managed 3. There was 3 CTs, and only 1 gets kills.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, CompLexity almost certainly go A because, even though Existence have had, like, 3 full HP CT players on the site, when 1 dies, they just all die and get no kills. So they're lucky to even have that heroic play come out of Zinkin, because in these previous rounds, they've not even come close to getting more than 1 kill.
Scope should be heard. But what's Plopsy going to do about it? He already has sand peppering him back, preventing entry. Smoke fading now, but the time's so far gone that no, there's no way Barbar has this. He ejects.
Yeah, he's just got to give that up. And we're going to have the pit save. Does Stanislav die here? How much damage? Okay, nice, that was close, but he's still good. So CompLexity do a good job to make a good call, I think, going to A, bullying Existence in a position where they have, you know, they have a certain level of comfortability with the site held down, the pit held down. But when somebody appears, all the CTs start roaming, they start peeking angles they probably shouldn't, and we're watching the one player who played his spot well, but everybody else either miss a shot or like jumps away into another line of sight, or they're trying to do too much themselves. Once again, they're not calling who is covering what choke point, what they can trust their teammates to do, and everybody, when they're trying to bite off more than they can chew, end up getting less than they would if they just simply held down 1 point of contact.
Just these pistols in the apps can be very dangerous, but the first 2 are cleared. Comes at a cost of health for Ye, but that's fine. 5 versus 3, and the single M4 has been taken back. Plopsky actually gets a chance to retrieve it, but they know this presence towards B, so Bomb immediately heads into the A site, understandably so.
Right.
And that's an 8th for CompLexity, unless Existence make a miracle.
And again, there's no reliance on rotations here. Everyone's too late. But CompLexity are trying to get ahead of that even. Stanislav taking position on Banana. I think he knows that players are right around the corner as they maybe were heard at half wall, potentially trying to peek quickly. Now one of them's moved over to Car. Stanislav abuses him instantly. Will call it to his teammates, potentially, that there is another person here. I don't know. And Plopsy's save could be critically important as they don't have a lot of money moving into round 15 of this half.
CompLexity on Nuke managed to pick up 6 of the last 7 rounds.
Now they're
gunning for like 8 of the last 9.
Yeah. They're going to save. They should be like trying to chase this down, I feel like, because they've got full buys. They could at least sacrifice 2 people to go and try to kill Plopsky. But seem to be worried about some subversive move towards the arch into like a ninja defuse of some sort, so played it safe, can't blame them. And it looks like Existence will not be given a free map here. CompLexity here now steadily getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, remember at one point down 5-1, having just faced a reset.
He didn't want to uncrouch.
Yeah. 2 ops, and both of which pick up opening kills. So this is the 15th and final round of the first half, and the Opper's paradise, it seems, for Existence. They're going to continue their success with Batten pinned into the corner. He wins yet another duel, and Shazam's already been found out and tagged down. 12 health for him in a 1v3, and that is all she wrote. 8-7 the final score. A solid T-side from CompLexity, considering how out of it they seemed in the opening 5 rounds.
They really did, dude. They were really dazed and confused, it felt like. So this is a good shout for them, I think. You know, that would be a terrible note to end the tournament on.
Yeah.
To just get decimated on a map you should be super favored on, and then just look good on yourself. So they made some good adaptations. You can see the kind of thought process behind the calling, moving into what they found out was exploitable. They do have the issue of never having played these players before. So there is
Very
that.
true.
You know, they are the more studied team of the two. So it's going to be pretty tough to be like, all right, well, what do they play like when we're on the server? Because Existence are like, okay, they watch a demo, they're like, oh, they do this. All right, we're going to do this. It's probably something that Complexity cannot even prepare for. And that might have been the struggle, is learning as you go, hoping you get a pistol along the way, maybe luck out a rifle round so you can learn while you win. And they weren't afforded that, but they still made the most of it. So moving into the second half strong, 8-7, not a terrible place to be in. Complexity will need another map if they want to win this. Existence could potentially end this here and now. So we move out into the second pistol.
Once it come with decent amount of utility for an execute if Existence opts to, and a very curious Def offers up his head to pry out the windows. Shazam. Whoa, this is aggressive. Nice one tap. And he's going to continue on, but it's from the cubby that they pop up and then take Complexity aback.
Oh.
Both those players who would push down removed from the situation, and Bomb looks to head out towards the B site, but another couple of taps off of Complexity's pistols means they are in control, 3v2, but not in control of this B site, Mohan.
Yeah, so one important thing is Existence haven't picked up any USPs, which would make this after plant a whole lot more favorable. They've only got Glock, so you could expect some of the first bullets to be missed. So instead, they can try to retake map control. I like that they're peering down Banana here. They also have time on their side as the retake is going to come in a little bit delayed. Good flash as well, as now they move in. Crossfire in play. Barbar gets killed. Plopsky 1v3.
He's got himself the first. That's the tail end of the caboose. Another duel's picked up, but it's Stan off with the bomb. And now he's picked up that kit, which had fallen off with a teammate. Time so far ticked already. The next tap, gets Plopsky to peek.
Okay.
And he just dumps on him.
Wow.
That B site destroyed. Great after plant, and that's momentum early again here. Both pistols picked up by Existence.
Yeah, and with a clutch like that, again, something that could just rock your psyche, just get deep into your minds. Like, this is something that's going to be hard to forget. It should be a free round. It should be a 1v3, lock this down. It's just one player. You know where he is. All you have to do is kill him, and they couldn't do that with 3 chances. So, Complexity, you're running out of quarters.
Who carries change, Launders?
People who go to arcades.
You still go? No, I thought they shut them all down in Toronto.
They did shut them all down in Toronto. It's very sad that they did that.
Chomps.
They're still like the big chain arcades, but the small ones, they've gotten pushed out by big arcade.
Nothing will beat that Hong Kong arcade we went to, where you can smoke indoors.
Smoke indoors.
In the basement. It's a wild one. They're going to charge right past Ye, or at least they thought so. Not going to get past them at all. Grenade's going to do the damage, tagging him up. Ye, a single point of health, finally burnt alive.
Really like the utility there from Existence, getting right up to the half wall and then just throwing everything from there, just denying any kind of aggressive setup that Complexity could have. And even if they didn't get a kill, it would have done so much damage that it would have counted for them, moving into whatever execute that they decide to go to. Stanislaw trying to hold it down with the CZ, using some of his ammo, taking half damage in response. And what is this? It's a library crunch. Whoa. They're actually using this to go to B. What a way to circumvent the site. Instead of going through Arch, once they patch the R position, you think, all right, they're just going to split this way. Hey, listen, guys, you made a cool play. Let's commit, all right? They could have actually gone B, caught him off guard. That's a perfect opportunity.
This is some 4-dimensional chess. FNS levels. Oh, but Shazam takes one to the dome. He does still have a teammate nearby. That's Android who walked forward. I mean, a deagle shot could take down the majority of these players, so it's not unrealistic to think that Complexity can contest this. Problem being now that the bomb is down and the retake's on with no kit. And deep dug-in positions for Existence. 2 within pit itself, 2 within the back of the bomb site. They welcome Complexity in so they can finish off this round.
Yeah, they've got good positions to hold from, where if it is going to be a pit save, you've got Android to try to just go for a YOLO peek and get some deagle damage in, potentially get a kill. And exiting Arch is something he could potentially cover as well, though he does let one go by. So now we'll see it. He's going to throw caution to the wind, drop his deagle to try to get some damage in. I think a really good flashbang to kick things off. and he gets all 3 kills. That's beautiful. Doesn't even die, can go ahead and recover a gun as well. That is as good of an exit as you could possibly ask for.
Solid stuff from Android. Not only kicking back the cash of existence, but bolstering his own. Take a free AK any day of the week.
I think they did the mid pop flash to do a Halls pop, and they had Stanislaw at mid, threw it high over the wall, and then he peeked over and killed him in pit. So that's awesome.
Obviously, there's no buy coming in around this AK, but at least Android's primed to be that one catalyst rifle. Needs to be the carry, but he's lost his teammate just next to him.
Let's see what damage Android can do with this hard-earned AK.
Looked like he wanted to flirt around towards mid, but he'll put down the smoke instead. Still will hold his ground. Terrorists come forward, and it's there that Batten drops him. So now all the weapons removed as the MAC-10 hits the dirt. Ye will pick it back up. But unfortunately for CompLexity, that AK is a goner.
He's using chain smoke here to, I think, get towards, where was the AK? Was it recovered?
Right near that smoke, unless Existence picked it up on the way.
Okay.
I think they chucked away one of the MAC-10s to retrieve it.
Very smart, very wise, very quick. And yeah, he's got no AKs nearby.
Poor guy. Chasing ghosts. No gun to be found, but I mean, he could still contest this pit position yet once more. Android picked up 3 frags. Why not throw a second hand?
Give it a shot. Why not? Yep, he's just going to swing right out before the bomb explodes, try to get some damage in. It's not even enough to net them a frag. Existence are healthy with 4 alive, and they are now, again, in the power position. Solid anti-eco after kind of a shaky previous one, so... Actually, no, it was a shaky previous one where Android got that 3-piece, obviously. Barbar being very animated about his calls at the moment. Doing well himself, 17 and 9. Been fragging out. Now let's see if CompLexity CT aggression can be used to contrast what we saw from Existence and how they didn't really utilize. They were pretty one-dimensional on CT side, really relied heavily on just like falling back into the site, dealing with using a couple of good pop flashes to get what they wanted of it. Let's see what the difference is between CompLexity and Existence. It is a rifle round. It's a little bit more passive, but it's bracket control that CompLexity are more focused on.
We questioned whether Existence threw that counter banana control often enough. This would be a prime time for CompLexity to do it because they'd see that everyone's leaving. I hope for CompLexity's sake that they don't rotate this Arch player too far away.
It's going to be an annoying mid-smoke where Existence, just after getting moved off of B, want to try to move into an A hit. Ye knows that his smoke was still good, and they probably wouldn't just come through it immediately, so he's got a few seconds to work with. They're going to go through this, huh?
Ye knows what's up. Lays down the Molotov. Here's a bit of chip damage, so he could be able to win the duel, you'd think.
Oh my god.
It's the MAC-10 of Zinkin to open up shop. Now they have wrapped around into the bomb site. Shazam's not going to connect a further kill, so Android, with all the work to do, falls at the hands of Barbar. Going above and beyond on this A hit. Leaves the B rotators to try and pick up pieces, but they're not even in position yet, and that bomb's a third of the way gone. This right here is a save, my friend.
Yeah, it's exit plans at this point. It's a strong round from Existence. Well done, and throwing a flash through a smoke at Arch is an antiquated play in a lot of situations. Sometimes you could get caught off guard, someone could catch the end of the smoke, wait for the flash, and then peek out of Arch. In Ye's position, he was almost prepared to do that. Could have just gotten all those kills, made them look stupid, made us all wonder, well, does Existence have a T-side anymore? But instead, they were given enough space to actually run by. Not only that, but Ye goes down on an aim duel. He had every right in the world to win, where he was waiting for it, he wanted it, he knew exactly when it was going to be coming, the player was coming running at him, and he could pick any off angle possible, and he still died to the MAC-10, so mechanically, goes down. And then the 2 players on the side, Shazam gets 1 at lane, and then after that, he gets flustered because the site gets swarmed. There's, again, no more Arch player to help them out, and his teammate in pit has got to just fight for himself, and can't even do that. So Android gets killed to close things out. CompLexity call another tack pause to talk about things. that was kind of a rough round on CT side. I would chalk it up to some mechanical failures. I think that the utility usage was good from Ye. You know, he knew when the Paw Flash came through, all right, he's got to let them by because he can't stop the full brunt of the action.
Right.
When he fell back to the correct spot, just needed to hit a shot. You know, Shazam gets a kill. Maybe he could have played his spot differently. But all in all, they kind of knew what to expect, and they didn't have terrible spots in the 2vx to deal with it. They were just down a man and missed a very important first kill.
This is very aggressive down mid. Def, one of the 2 M4 wielders here in this round, and the second one is Stanislaus. So both the M4s are actually the front runners of this setup for Complexity. The pistol's all behind them. That could be nice in the sense that it draws the attention of Existence further, and then they can swing wide. But unfortunately for Def, he's caught in the scope of Knock.
Yeah, this is the kind of patience you don't really see anymore on Inferno, where if you get smoked out of banana, you try to fight against it, or you circumvent the whole operation, decide to potentially focus on bracket, get up alt. But because they took so long, it made that player uncomfortable. It made Def very uncomfortable. Like, okay, well, first of all, he's saving, so he's going to take a risk. And that's the play that Existence want to make on an anti-eco. But then he's also worried about someone wrapping in through alt and then killing him that way, and that would be a stupid way to die. So he's like, you know what, let me just go for the peak. And he actually was one of the only rifles of the round. Could have been a kill hat there too. Existence up 12-8 in the blink of an eye.
Right, this is moving forward very quickly. Full steam ahead. And that's now, I'm checking the scoreboard. Moan, this is Complexity with still zero CT rounds. 0
CT rounds. I thought in my mind's eye I saw one round that they won. I can replay in my head, but maybe it was only one that came close. 5 rounds in a row, leading with the last round of the last half. The first 4 in this. No chinks in the armor just yet. Tac pause out for Existence. Cooling their own jets, even coming off a round win.
It's like the 3rd or 4th time they've done this.
Yeah, it's true. It worked for them previously. It's not something that you would traditionally see or expect to work, or, you might be doing the other team a favor, but it worked for them.
It's a philosophy. Do you stop things when you quit? Oh, no.
Oh, whoa. Oh, Zinky gets lagged. Unfortunate for Shazam. Prime
Barrel
opportunity. Yeah.
Spotted and called, so good for him to just get out of there as fast as possible. You don't want to linger around at all. Existence have this tendency to be swarmed and coupled together, especially straight out of spawn, but whoa, it's a pop flash downwards. Oh. Just chucked at the floor, and Batten hits Shazam with a drive-by from door. Here's Ye with an off angle. He's nailed himself a couple. Can't manage that 3rd frag, but at least there's substantial damage for the remainder of Existence. Android,
oh my God.
Great spray continuation, but it's not going to chance to clutch.
Even winning with 1 is a pretty big loss. So they're going to try to take this 2-on-1 in the post plant, survive with both, and there's still a chance that Knock could seal this up. Knock, show us what you could do. 1v2, big stage with the most pressure.
He's not watching that smoke any longer. Playing with the corner, which is exactly where he catches.
Oh my God!
And a slick flick. He's got himself the clutch. A 13th for Existence. 5-round lead. Complexity, battered, broken, and bruised.
It's the tap water. It's the tap water for sure. As that was clean.
Hot damn.
Holy, that was some JW type stuff. He's even got the Karambit. What can you do about that?
Nothing.
That's a deathmatch flick.
Yeah. I mean, you expect him to peek wide, Stan catches him off guard, dodge the first bullet, clear him in the open. When you peek that barrel from pit, it's such an exposed position. Like, even your biggest piece of cover, a barrel that goes up to your hips, is made of wood. Like, you get peppered, you get caught, the op on cycle, you're screwed.
That flick was a hangover cure.
I feel great.
I feel like I survived an eggnog challenge. And Complexity take the pods.
Yeah, and
they
for
want
good
to slow
reason.
it down. Yeah.
And like I said, broken and bruised, because the meaning behind that is this situation they face now. Pistols. Sure, they have some grenades, 3 pieces of Kevlar, 1 helmet to go around, and they face a full-fledged Existence Galaxy.
Still thinking about that flick, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah. I'm licking my chops.
Oh, man. They've bought. They still have some money left over, so don't be too alarmed. They've got armor, but they still have some money left over. So just trying to split the difference. But it looks like Existence are onto the greener pasture. They've picked the B site. It's Shazam all alone with a Deagle. Could be a redemption arc for him.
Problem for Def is that a player's already gotten across.
Yeah. Oh, look, they spotted mid, so the rotations are going to come out. This is the time to strike.
Oh. That closest player actually not punishing the Coffin's position. Def's going to face some spam. Manages to get away unscathed. Rotations are over. There's substantial damage going actually back versus the T's. 3 of the 5 hit up quite heavily, and it's Def with a double assist now. 1 from the frag and a follow-up Deagle.
They could still plant Coffins with the bomb here. They did drop it, so that was a really well-placed nade from the CTs. 3v5, I'd be concerned. They can't push this too quickly. A lot of damage dealt to Zinkin, but he gets away with his life, which is more important. That's
full banana control. At some point, Nox going to double back, being the man on 100 health. Zinkin just 1 HP, gets himself the headshot immediately, and Barbar follows suit with 3.
Man, he just doodles all over them.
A Plopski.
A Plop just takes just a Poopski on.
Damn, Existence. Is this going to be a flawless half to finish? This would be DreamHack history, by the way. Never has the North American and European qualified team gotten into the top 4 simultaneously.
Oh, interesting.
And this would be it. I'm telling you, it's the cool magic in this Jönköping air. I could smell it.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be the water. It really might be.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Clean Swedes. And a clean sweep so far on this T side. What a turnaround, too, because we saw CompLexity put together that momentum in the first half. They seemed out of it at the start, and I thought, well, maybe this would happen yet again. You know, pistol, conversions, sure.
I found another backwards hat player.
Who?
On Existence.
Oh, no. Not just Easy Tag?
Yeah, and he's at this tournament, Connor.
Oh, there's only 2 then, Longers.
There's only 2 in the whole world, and they're here at this very LAN.
Both of which looking to book a ticket into the semifinals.
I wouldn't mind existing Galaxy stickers. Like those in Hollow, those would be sick.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Pop flash to the top of mid. They're going to look to just charge forward now. Molotov denies any entry towards Arc, you would think, but they decide to just run through it. They put out the flames, and Shazam puts out the push. Nock will trade it back eventually, but there's still 2 defenders within the A site to deal with.
Yeah,
and they're going to play back-to-back.
They're not in pit, though. Oh my god. Are they going to know he's here?
No. Android comes wide, drops bomb, buys time. Then he even gets another. Great multi-frags, but it goes both ways. And it's back down into the clutch. Stan coming in from behind. At what point does Batten turn around?
Yeah, I don't know. The safe plant means that he's not going to seek out the information. Did he try to put it down? Is Stan right around the corner? Will he commit to it? Yeah, he comes in for the spray and seals it up. Close call. And so much damage. I mean, even though they're going to, even this round, you know, they're not even going to have a lot to buy for this round. Interesting play, I'd say, going not only through that Molotov, which was thrown so early that you'd think, okay, why would we take full damage going through this, into the op of Shazam, and then naturally not being able to trade that well because he has a huge favor there. Questionable to try it, but they've got so many rounds to work with, you can't harp on a round like that too much.
Good grenade exchange back and forth. How many players are tagged up and no one's seen a target? Oh, now they're going to charge it.
Oh, we saw that flash.
Flopsy, close proximity. Doesn't find Def, who actually manages to escape towards Stan, boosting him up onto the planter.
That was good, because Plopsky saw the flash coming over top, and Def used it to escape instead of trying to peek. Could have cost him his life.
An opportunist.
Oh. And that bait, obviously, is just to take attention away from the guy who's boosted. Then we have to rotate around to Coffins naturally. Doesn't mean they shouldn't clear it. It's still a position that goes uncleared all too often.
Oh boy, Def's gonna get it all done. Double MP9 kill. Stanislaw now emerges from the top of the planter, tries to continue on with the spray, but luckily Shazam is here for CompLexity. Batten's gonna swap out the AKs. He's sitting on 3 frags. Could get all 5. Gunning for the ace to secure OT at the least. Android walking forward. There's no longer a gap in the smoke. And Batten doesn't know which way he's got off to, but he will prioritize plant. And now his gun's back up.
Oh my god. Oh, this is going to be a very unreadable position. This is good move from Batten.
He had the 1v4 clutch on Nuke. Now he's gunning for the ace in the depths of this second map. It would destroy Complexity's cache. It would leave them hanging out to dry, and he's got it! Android looks the wrong way.
That was just so smartly done. When the bomb was planted on the right side of the site like that, you think that guy either could have gone to banana with the amount of time remaining, which could have sealed it up, or he could have gone to quad. Sitting out in the open in pool, who would anticipate that? Not Android, that's for sure. So not only did he did a good job with the Molotov and a good job in the 1v3, was it even 4?
1v3 at least.
1v3 at the minimum. But the utility usage was there, the shots were hit, the smart plays were made, and that was incredible. We've seen so many clutch rounds at this tournament. Like, I feel like this is the most clutch rounds I've seen in a tournament in the last year. I feel like some of the 1v3s, 1v3 with the ace.
Correct.
Pretty unbelievable.
Checking
and
the
it's
kill
always
feed.
been like a really nice 1v1 to top it off.
And you know what's ridiculous on top of it, Mohan? That 1v3 ace round comes directly after Complexity's first CT win.
With one player alive.
Brutalized. And potentially done for. Potentially dead in the water. Complexity going to be grasping at straws at this point. A single MP9 makes the difference, and Stanislav sees that close, gets 2. Plopsky's got this smoke to work around, but it's the flashbang that bothers him, and he's caught with a frag in hand. This one's not over yet.
It almost never is, you know, so... Yeah, it's 2v4, but yeah, Existence have done it before. I can't help but assume that they've still got a chance.
CZ from above. Ye cuts it down yet once more, and 5 more rounds potentially here for Complexity. It would need to be a spree of 6.
Yeah, they've got to dig deep. And this is only to get to Mirage.
Right.
This is just to get to map 3.
Just to get to overtime.
Just to get to overtime. If that isn't daunting, I don't know what is.
Facing quite some tribulation. Full buy back up for Complexity. This is not the haphazard buy we had in the previous round. It's full-fledged and full force.
Oh, interesting. That where's that smoke land at? Did it bounce a little bit too far? Okay, there. The def could actually stand in front of it. So it doesn't deny what they wanted it to. Knock took a little bit of spam damage there. There's nobody in the halls to hold down long haul. Shazam getting smoked off of his spot at mid. And this is going to make it seem like to Complexity that Existence have a whole lot more than they have. But I do like that they have sanctioned out a bit of money just for the extra nades. They have so many on this eco. It's nice to see.
They are primed in the apartment. Complexity just going to look to keep them at bay. Already Android with 1. Ye comes out from pit as well. So solid impact, solid hold. Complexity, they're ready for it. The grenades help the attempt at an execution, but when you're at a disadvantage with guns, those 8Ks just clean up shop.
Again, so there are a number of things Existence can do on a round like this. They've got a few rounds to work with. They haven't tested banana fully. They haven't tested mid fully. They've probably overplayed arch a little bit, so that might be something they don't want to try again, especially not going through a smoke or going through nades or running into the opposite Shazam, continually testing it. Shazam has missed some of those first duels, which has been a problem for sure, but after that, if he's able to survive, he sometimes gets that kill, and oh my god, there was an opportunity to take him out early. That would have definitely opened Arch back up, thrown it right back into the playbook, but for now, that's not going to be the case. No, not much early damage dealt, but not too many nades expelled for the CTs as well. Doing a good job of holding on to it, kind of pushing back the start of the round by holding on to their utility.
Just as the smoke grenade fades, Def
ooh, it's a second angle too, yeah.
It's going to make a difficult B retake if A does fall.
Look at the bomb. Okay, they just wanted to clear that out. Oh, Def. Is he by himself? Are they going to flash through this? Is there just going to be a blind op shot through the smoke? We've seen it before.
He sees the legs.
And the off goes on cycle. Flash goes out and they hightail it.
50 seconds, and it's going to draw a rotator back from Complexity. Shazam, that second opper coming now, but they've lost their anchor and Batten. So I think they're just going to go all in.
Yeah.
I think that has to be the play. sure. There's 2 snipers in
Two
position.
ops rotated in a B.
They've
Zem
just got to
can't
get
help.
past it. The smoke grenades are going to facilitate this, Launders. They charge right in. Barbar even has the back line, but luckily Def's here, and Def's going to lock it down for at least a little bit longer. 30 seconds up. Bomb still not on the site. And things come to a grinding halt until finally the plant is activated.
Yeah.
So many CTs already in position, but Plopsky takes them aback. The flank's been cleared as well. This looks like it. This seems as though Existence Galaxy books their ticket to the playoffs. It's all on Stanislaw to lead by example, and it's not gonna happen. DreamHack history in Jönköping. And the Swedes go wild as they should. A team to root for, an underdog story that we all do love.
They absolutely should rejoice. It's fantastic.
And an upset over CompLexity.
Well done, man. That was really good. I mean, no, CompLexity don't look in top shape for sure, but that was them winning on Nuke, them winning on Inferno. 2 comfort picks for CompLexity. Should have definitely been better. And Existence, not only did they do well and just keep up tactically, but the individual clutches that they had were so impressive. Those are all going to be watched by these players for years, you know? Those are memorable moments.
If I'm not mistaken now, too, Launders, I think the winner of this matchup actually gets to face Bravado.
Bravado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Fantastic stuff.
First coming off.
Oh, I'm too hot. I'm too hot after that one. A 2-0 upset here for Existence Galaxy. Congratulations to them. Poor CompLexity going to have to take this on the chin, but let's hand it over to our analyst experts, and they'll break it down for you.
And so the Christmas miracle continues here in Jönköping. Some Swedes have found that sweet, sweet victory here over CompLexity, sending them home, packing it up, get them out of here, get back to the airport, because they're on their way back to where they came from. It's over for them here, but for what it's worth, let's start talking about what the Swedes have accomplished. Coming in new.
That was really impressive display from the Swedes. I think they played way better than I expected. I think obviously CompLexity didn't have the best game, but I think they get outmatched in pretty much, I wouldn't say all aspects of the game, but close to many of them, especially individually skill-wise. I like the way Barbar came out in the interview with HLTV before this game and said that he thinks individually not a lot of teams can stop these guys. Individually, not a lot of teams are better than we are, and I think that was showcased to its full force here.
And I completely agree. I think the Catalyst was the first map they won today. The first game where they played against LDLC. Once that happened, they're like, we can beat them, we can out-aim them. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the individual players here. Firstly, Nock is such a boss, right? This guy just consistently frags all the time. We also spoke about Plopsky. He was there in the server as well. He was doing a lot of work. And now this guy, Button, he was kind of quite competitive earlier today and yesterday as well, but today he came with so many clutch moments. The number of entries he was getting on the T side of Inferno, winning deals against much more tenured players, right? Like the players in CompLexity. And then of course Barbar himself, old guy, a veteran in the scene, the oldest guy in the team, and he was fragging out of his mind on the T side of Inferno as well. All things considered, they were the better team today. They played really good Counter-Strike. Yes, CompLexity were lacking a little bit, but I don't want to take away anything from these guys. These guys, at least, you know what? I'm right now a fan of these guys.
Yeah, definitely agree. And again, we can just point out the fact that CompLexity did not have their best game. Like, this is a team, we saw like similar situation to the Optic guys right now, where it's a team that we've seen peak. It's a team that we know can do way better than they're doing right now. But the fact of the matter is that they're not playing up to their best race.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate the path that they're on right now, or what they're going to have to do and kind of face some of those demons that they're kind of dealing with. Whatever the holdup there is, that's a little bit more their problem than ours. So in fact, at this time, we're going to have the chance to set the bar a little bit higher on our end by talking to Barbar himself. My man, congratulations. What a roller coaster that must have been.
Yeah, well, a lot of feelings right now, you know, and it's just so fun to be here and play in front of everyone. And of course, we don't hear the audience really when we're in the booth. But no, it's just amazing. I'm pretty lost for words, and we're waiting in a semi-final against Bravado. This can go all the way, yeah.
So let me ask you, man, because just from what we can see from here, there's got to be some family in the audience. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of family in the audience. Yeah, you probably hear them back there, you know. And no, it's super happy. I think it's giving energy to the guys. Also, seeing their fathers or mothers are backstage, you know, and everything like this. So it's just it's amazing. And yeah, what a tournament we're doing.
Yeah. One thing which I was very curious about, right? Like, you now Yeah, I mean, you're going to be playing the semifinals, right? You won the first game, getting to the second game. You did say you guys were like feeling confident that you can actually take these fights against, you know, more known teams and players. You're feeling very confident. But at the end of the day, it's still nerves, right? You're playing with your home crowd in front of you. The pressure is kind of there, even though you might say that, you know, we have nothing to lose. There's still the pressure there because now you can really make this tournament, you know, something really special for you guys. So were there moments in both those maps and both those games when things were looking a little shaky here and there, and where like the players feeling a little fidgety, where they're like, you know, maybe over-peaking a little bit here and they're making a couple of small little mistakes? And because I saw you talking to them a lot in between the rounds as well. So did you have to do a little bit of like, you know, calming them down and trying to talk them through some of those rounds?
Yeah, of course, you know, in a game you gotta adapt and then tune the strats you're doing or what side you're hitting. But we knew they were getting desperate when we were winning a lot of rounds. They're getting more and more desperate, going down mid on Inferno, for example, or tried some individual plays. That we knew, and I think they were really telegraphed today, to be honest. I don't know, we stacked up sites and then stuff like this, and it was really easy without any fakes against any site and everything. So I think they made it pretty easy for us. I don't know if they tried to out-aim us or whatever they tried, but today we were stronger, I think.
There's no doubt that you guys are playing the best Counter-Strike that at least I have seen from you guys ever. You should know better than we do. Is there an extra gear to this lineup? Can you go even further than the semifinal?
I think so. Of course, we're waiting Bravado also, who qualified from the open bracket also, and yeah, I don't see them as impossible. They played some good CS, beat some good teams, and I saw they're playing some solid CS actually. You know, so. No, we take game for game, map for map, and as boring as it sounds, we got to do that.
Sure. Just one last thing. Blobsky, you went out in an interview with HLTV and said that he was potentially better than Broland. Let's not draw into that, but how good is this kid?
This kid was global elite when he was 12 years old.
Wow.
Pretty much. So, yeah, but he was. But anyway, no, he's a real talent, and. But we win as a team today, I think. They carried me on Nuke, and yeah, pretty much. No, Plopsky and all the guys, his talents. They're young guys, you know. Everyone is young, and I mean, you saw the knock almost breaking his own wrist a couple of times, also, you know. So it's just amazing to be around and teaching these kids a couple of things. No, I'm super happy, super happy.
Well, he was definitely knocking them down, one might even say. And what I've got to ask you, man, the last question, what do you think about avocados?
About avocados?
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice, I guess. What do you think?
Well, you know, because the spam the avocado is what Bravado is going to be running off of. That's their lifeline, their fuel. So I was wondering kind of what your take is before we get into that one. But either way, congratulations, man, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Nice, Trace.
What, man? It's just a real question. I like avocados. Maybe he does too. Maybe we could kind of like.
Honestly,
yeah, I don't like them.
It's the most overrated thing ever.
So, in my mind, it's a good way to alleviate having a dry sandwich, right? Because nobody on their right minds would want a dry sandwich.
Have you heard about ranch?
Yeah, big
yeah, it's
fan.
pretty good, huh?
Yeah, but it's not really made for sandwiches unless it's like a buffalo chicken sandwich.
Let's not dwell into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're getting me a little excited, but I'm also a little bit excited to tell you about this next little piece right here. Music Helping is definitely in season. In fact, it's a human rights project and a one-week marathon broadcast dedicated to raising awareness and funds for an underreported human catastrophe. My God, I haven't said that in a long time. This year's campaign will focus on people with disabilities, one of the world's most marginalized groups. Any contribution is more than welcome. So go to the link on your screen. That's right. You see it right there on your screen. I could tell you how to say that maybe, like in a stretched out way, but the reality is you just need to type that link in your browser, or do yourself a favor and look at the Twitch chat right now. Load it up because it's going to be popping in there with this link. I can assure you that. Someone will be spamming it in there momentarily. And yes, it's for a good cause. I can support that. I can get behind that. I think that's a great thing. And moreover, we might as well get to the next great thing that we have going on here. One more best of 3, one more elimination game. And are you guys excited? Give me something. Give me some energy.
I think we get to see G2 now go up against the well-playing Ents. We have potentially, we do have a rematch from the first round of this tournament. And I think we have a barn, what is it called, like a barn burner?
A barn burner.
A barn burner of a best of 3 coming up.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's just take a moment here to Just the fact that we have Bravado and Existence in the semifinals.
How does that make you feel?
Not the Belgian type either.
Special.
Special.
Yeah, it feels like very warm inside. You know?
You're a special kid, man.
Oh.
Right. I'm going to let you guys figure that over there. And in the meantime, we're going to be going to a quick break. We come back. That's right. One more BO3. It's going to be INTZ. It's going to be G2 fighting for their lives here. Make sure you don't go anywhere because the conclusion of our day starts when we come back.